Oh, damn, yeah.
Play that
That
funky
fucking
music.
music,
Yeah.
right? I'm Rick James, bitch. Love yourself.
Live from Kentucky and Louisiana. 2 Marines, 1 mission. This is Sense and Senseless. From the hills to the bayou, stories collide. Brothers in arms, now we're side by side. Sense and senseless, we cut through the noise. 2 Southern Marines with that rebel voice. Grab a seat, pour a drink, let's make some sense. Or none at all, it just depends. Sense and senseless.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Sense and Senseless. I am Brian.
I'm Jason.
He is Jason. It's Friday, March 27th, 2026. Tonight, we got a lot to talk about. We're gonna touch on Iran and why they seem to be taunting us with AI videos of Lego Trump. Was the feminist movement made as another form of division? How Candace Owens and her following are rabid, and I love that shit. I just love it. We'll get a glimpse into Gigamesh and Nimrod. We'll discuss the torture of children to punish their parents. How do we get to Terminator? This shit may be a little different than you think. We'll talk about a conversation with the Uber driver that may actually be a warning to all of us. We're going to be all over the place tonight. Jason, just do your best. Follow me. If you have any questions, just stop me because my head was running wild this week. And it was a short week since we did it on Sunday. And I threw a lot of shit together real quick. And I hope you guys enjoyed us this week. You got anything, Jason, before we get started?
I love how your brain works, dude. That sucker. If somebody could ever tap into that thing, they'd be like, "Holy cow, what the hell's going on in here?"
Squirrel.
A squirrel. So you keep me on my toes. I'll tell you that. I love it.
Yeah. Well, first of all, I want to apologize for the second part of last week's show. I really didn't enjoy it as much as I was hoping to enjoy it. It's all my fault. Yeah, I had some technical issues on my side. Long story short, I fucked up my notes, and which caused me to stumble more than than I wanted to. We will go back and real summarize the Canaanite history before we dive any deeper into like Gilgamesh and all. Tonight, we're not going to get into any of this stuff, the evil stuff. I am going to bring us a little glimpse of Gilgamesh and Nimrod so we can see where we're going with this. It would be a brief little segment. But we will get back to there maybe next week, maybe not. But we will be going back to the evil stuff shortly. Tonight, we're going to try to keep it, I'm not going to say light, but we're not going to go real dark either. All right. We're going to have a little fun tonight. Now on to this week. I want to start this week with a little short rant. And then I'm going to get into a couple of epiphanies I had this week. Now, the little rant I got is I have a question, and I'm sure this affects a lot more people than just me. It's why are we punished for being responsive? Why do we get punished for doing a good job? We have so many people today. It seems like their only job is just to punt shit. Somebody gives them something to do, and they just punt it to somebody else so they can go get on a meaningless call and then just have somebody else do their work and take their credit. This has become a job. I don't know what the qualification is, but this is a job at most places, and you probably know some of these people, so they'll get with you, they'll ask you a question, you'll help them, you give them where they're going, and they'll just take that information and they go, but then they come back. Well, can you help me with this? Well, now they found somebody and you think you're doing a good job because you want to do a good job. So you're just helping this person out. And they just constantly fucking coming to you till you finally cut them off. And they don't care. They just go to find somebody else. It's just mind-boggling to me how people work these days. They use one another to make their job easier. And we said it multiple times in the past. Maybe the good workers are the dumb ones. This new template of lazy workers, should I say, is I'm not going to say they're wrong for doing it because their companies don't care no more about them than they care about us, right? And our
Right.
companies don't really care about us unless we're making them money. That's just the way it is. That's the whole reason why they hired us and the whole reason why we work. We make them money and they pay us to make them a little bit of money. That's the way it works. Having said that, these other people figured that shit out and we still have pride. So do you have to give up your pride in order to keep your sanity at work these days? Is that how this shit works?
It's hard. I mean, it is. I mean, the entitlement. And what's funny, man, is people my age are starting to get on board with it too, like the workers. Like we're both, you know, supervisors or
Mm, yeah.
manager or whatever. And so you kind of expect your older guys to act a certain way and not have that mentality. And maybe they'll rub off on the younger guys. And it's not like that. It's like the younger guys are rubbing off on the older guys.
Yeah, and even from in the manager's standpoint, you'll see people that they just load their calendar up with calls
All
just to
meetings
act like
on
they
meetings. Yeah.
yeah,
Like
just to
they're
act
important.
like they're doing something, and they might have been on that call already 3 times, but don't
Mm,
matter to them. Their calendar shows they're busy, so they
mm.
have to be doing something, and they can get away with that shit, but the guy in the back, working on something, they walk back there and see the guy doing the same thing he was doing this morning, and, "God damn, what's taking you so long? You ain't
Yeah.
done nothing all day. Nobody
Yeah.
nobody's on your ass, but this guy out there sweating his ass off, working by himself because nobody wants to help him,
Right.
probably doing something for the guy that's bitching at him." It is fucking. It's just sad. People just don't want to work anymore. I can't say I blame them for not wanting to give it their all, but you got to have self worth. I can understand you not wanting to be fucked by your company. I can understand that, but you got to have self worth. You would think, right?
Yeah. You think so. But another thing I noticed, we were hungry back in the day. I mean, I had to work overtime. I had
Yeah.
to take on extra stuff because when they offered incentive things like to go collect certain things for a commission or whatever, I'm not trying to call my job out too much here because, like I said, I don't want to
Yeah, that's
raise
understood.
any
Yeah,
red flags. Same with you. I don't talk where you work, and I'm not going to really call my job out. But still, back in the day, our money wasn't as good, and we had to work in order to have stuff. And now these people, I mean, they pay good now, but you try to tell these guys like, hey, when we interviewed, we talked to you about overtime and all that. And yeah, well, it's like I just told you what you wanted to hear so I could get the job. But now that I'm in here, I just no, I need to go home.
yeah,
I need it. I need to eat with my wife and kids tonight. It's like, man, we got all this stuff going on. We need help. Sorry.
yeah. Work life balance. Sorry,
Yeah.
work life balance,
I
and
did.
I
I didn't
agree
know.
with them.
I guess I do too, Brian, but it's hard to shed what I did before. It's hard to shed that work ethic, what we
I,
call work ethic. They don't have that anymore.
no, and I have a problem with it. If someone's giving you an honest day of work, you know, I can work with them. It's the ones that hide behind everyone else, collect their hours, collect their day, and then complain about how hard they work
Oh
or that
yeah.
they need it. I got to leave at 5 o'clock. Why you got to leave so early? Well, I got this going on. Well, if you would have actually done something in the last 12 hours, we wouldn't be behind right now.
Right.
But we just paid you for 12 hours to sit over there and play on your damn phone because I know you didn't
Mm,
do anything because nothing's
mm,
done.
yeah.
Now I'm sorry, and they clock out and they go to fucking home. And there's nothing
Mm,
you can do about it. Nothing.
no.
So I figure I get that ran off my chest. I'm sure I'm the only one that has to deal with that shit, but I don't have a whole lot of places to bitch for. This is one of them, so let's get that out there.
Well, I think we can both agree on that. That it's different now. And like I think I've said on multiple shows, are we the dumb ones, Brian?
Yeah.
Because we're the ones that'll bend over backwards, break our back, and don't get extra money for it. I mean, when in my position, when you become a supervisor above you becomes salary. and they want to say the little quotations, well, that's your overtime's factored into your pay. I got a 10% raise going from my hourly to my salary position. That was, to me, the responsibility, not the overtime.
Yeah.
You agree?
Yeah. In our field, you actually lose money going from the field into management.
Yeah, same here. I've got guys that make more than me by June or July,
Oh,
August,
yeah.
and we're working around the same hours because I've got that Hal Morrill from We Were Soldiers movie. I've got his mentality. Like, I don't like to leave when my guys are still out working.
Yeah, I don't have that problem anymore.
I'm slowly getting out of it. I am. I'm not gonna lie. But they'll call me and they'll be like, "Hey, could you come out here and help me?" It's like, help you do what? Well, do you want to come out here and pack my ladder for me? I got a lot of rear easement. And I'm like, well, hold up a minute. You gonna come in here and help me do my paperwork? Well, no. And
Yeah, but you don't do anything, Jason.
oh,
You know, you just you don't do
you're
anything.
just sitting. Yeah, you're just sitting in the office watching YouTube
Yep,
videos.
just waiting for him to call. That's what sometimes when people
Yeah.
call, they're like, "What are you doing? Nothing, just waiting on you to call me."
Yeah, that's the only reason why I come to work every day is
Yep,
just expecting your phone call. That's it.
That's it.
If you
all I
wouldn't
do.
call, I wouldn't work.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. So thanks for calling today. So it gave me something to do. I greatly appreciate you.
I could check that off the box. Took your phone call today, but yeah,
Maybe that went on my my metrics. You know, just
yeah. I gotta exceeds expectations, baby. Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. All right. So let's move on to a couple of my epiphanies.
Your epiphanies.
My epiphanies. And they
Epiphany.
both have to do with woman power. You know, and I know it's just a touchy subject.
Will you do a disclaimer before you start this, Brian? Because I feel where you're going to go with this a little bit.
I'll do one a little bit further into this because, and I'm gonna explain. You'll understand why. It's nothing against women at all. You know,
Okay,
and
that's what I'm wanting.
No, it's nothing against women. It's just how they played a woman's role against all of us. And I've always, said I think the women's movement hurt women. I just do. I think it hurt it. It hurt families. It hurt women. It hurt men. It just hurt society as a whole. And we have women today that, they'll sit there and this is way out. This ain't part of the epiphany. They don't need a man, and they don't need this. And a man will be like, I don't need her. She's a hoe. And what they fail to realize in the most basic instinct as a person, you need each other. A man needs a woman, regardless of how you look at it. Your whole reason to be on this earth is to procreate. You cannot procreate female, female, male, male. You just can't do it. A male and a woman need each other. I don't give a shit how you look at it in the most basic level. So you can walk around all day long. You don't need this one. You don't need that. It was intended by God that a male and a female in just about every living thing on this earth and in the water. Yep. Now, some of them can fuck themselves and have their own goddamn kids, some animals. Okay, let's eliminate that shit. I don't know of any person that has fucked himself and had his own kid. And if you have, I'd love to hear it because that'd be a fucking interesting story.
Yeah.
What a
Reach
problem
out to our
to have,
email.
man. Yeah.
We'll definitely have a podcast for that one.
What a problem to have where you can sit there and just fuck yourself, and you can get off both ways. All right, now I'm getting way off subject.
Yeah, let's reel that back in. How about you go F yourself? I did earlier today.
Yeah,
I'm pregnant.
I think I'm having another kid. Yep. I think it's going to look just like me. And so, I think the women's movement also hurt our total wage scale. I think our pay was really hurt by the women's movement. And I was thinking about the women's wages the other night and how they paid less than a man. And we can argue till we blue in the face, but it's true. Whether it's a few percentage, whether it's a huge percentage, it doesn't matter. A woman's role does get paid less than a man. It's sad, but it's a fucking true statement. It has gotten better over the years, but it's still a true statement. But that doesn't mean that a man's wage is correct though. And I'm gonna go in a big circle, so at any time you don't follow me, Jason, just stop me. But just bear with me, okay? I'm going somewhere with this. So everyone, especially in our generation, talks about growing up and how things were cheaper. How you could survive on one paycheck. but it's impossible to do that today. Everything's just so expensive, and also we got to have so much shit today. Everybody got to have the latest thing. Everybody got to have a car. Everybody got the best shoes, the best jeans. Everybody got to have the best of everything, and we're kind of programmed that way. You deserve everything. That's what they want to tell you. You deserve everything, and I'm not saying you don't. Sometimes you just can't afford to deserve everything, so it puts you in an area, where money's going to be tight. But when we were growing up, it was very common to have one car. You didn't have fucking multiple cars unless you were, a little rich or whatnot. Y- y- your mom had the car or whatever. She'd bring your dad to work. Your dad, or in our case, our dad would either ride his bike to work, or somebody would pick him up. Mom would bring him. We had one car. Most of the people in our families had one car, and most moms that we knew and in our families stayed home. Okay. Now they didn't teach us. We went to school, but they stayed home and they understood exactly what was going on with us. Now it might have seemed intrusive at times because your mom was always in your shit, but it helped you, grow up. You didn't realize that at the time, but it did help you because she was in your life.
Right.
Now, today, if you want to have a one paycheck home, you could probably still do it, but you're going to have to watch every fucking penny. You're going to have to be humble. You got to track everything. I mean, you're going to have to really put some work into doing it for most people. Some people are just going to be blessed and be able to do it. But for most people, I would say a one paycheck home today is rare. I'd say that is the exception and not the rule. Can we agree on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So what does this have to do with a man's wage not being correct? All right. So let's start with, I'm going to give you a disclaimer. Okay. Let's start with this. I'm not certified in the damn thing. I mean, I'm not even certified in what I do for a living. Okay. So please do your own research. All right.
We always tell people that, Brian. Don't just take our word for it. Look
That's
into
right.
it. We open the book, read the book.
But I think we're all fucked.
Yeah.
By the women's movement and period. And I don't believe the women's movement was about helping women at all. I've said that a lot. I don't. Do I believe women should be able to work? Yeah, I do.
Right.
Do I believe women should be able to stay home and raise their families? Yeah, I agree with that too. Women should be able to do whatever the hell they want to do.
Right.
They shouldn't have any limits. I agree with that. But here's the issue. And women can't afford to stay home and raise a family. You just can't these days. It's just the pay and the way the scale is tilted on the working class. It is very hard for a woman to stay home and work. And that's if the woman is actually still with the man. It's still hard. If it's a single woman, I mean, there's no doubt she's got to go to work. And I believe most women, this is how I believe, and I could be wrong. I believe most women would much rather stay home and raise their family. I can tell you if I could stay at home and raise my family, I would have. I would have been a fucking great housewife. I have no problem. I even wore a wig and fucking the maid out, whatever the fuck you needed me to wear. You know what I'm saying? I would have done it. I would have made it work because that's how much I hated going out. I can clean the fuck out of a house. I can clean the fuck out of a house.
Well, we were taught in the Marines how to clean real well. So,
but women, they have to go to work.
Right.
I don't think they want to go to work, but then they have to make excuses on why they have to go to work. They don't want to depend on no man. They want to make sure their kids have the very best. They want to make sure their kids don't struggle the way they did. They sacrificing themselves for someone else. That's what most parents do, men and women. Women do it differently than men. What we do, we sacrifice ourselves for our children or for someone else. And I got to admit, women are amazing creatures. Amazing creatures. They love like no other. I mean, they would kill anyone for their kids. Anyone. It don't matter who they are. They will protect their loved ones to no end.
Right.
And so that's an amazing trait of them. And they want their kid to do right in the world. And they feel, I'm not going to put all women in this box, but most women, and I think most people in general, feel that they want their kids to have a better life than what they did. Would that be correct?
Yeah.
And today, in order to do that, I mean, you got to work your ass off. And in this whole time, you're spending little to no time with your child because you're just working. And then what happens? is you start resenting your child. Not because your child's bad, is because you start thinking your child doesn't appreciate what you're bringing home. You might come home at 6, 7 o'clock at night. Let's just say you get off at 5. You got to wind down, so you go to the gym. You go to the gym. Now you're not getting home till 6:30, 7 o'clock. You're trying to get some dinner ready. You might spend an hour in the evening, and this is being generous, and an hour in the morning with your child. You might. And then today, you probably spend less than that because everybody's on their phone or on their iPad or they're on some kind of device.
Mhm.
All right. And then your kid starts to pull away, and you feel like, damn, I'm doing all this shit for you. I'm doing it all for you. And you start resenting your kid.
Mhm.
But what you don't realize is your kid's not asking for all that shit. And it takes a while to understand this. All your kid wants is your time.
Yeah.
You know, you doing all this stuff because you think that you need to do it for your kid. And this happens in a lot of cases. Then you start resenting your child because your child's not putting the same emphasis on the same things that you want for them. And now you think that, they're just not appreciative for all the sacrifices that you have. I mean, does that
Well,
sound familiar?
yeah. So my thought on this is like I've taught before with the biblical stuff is you're trying to provide love to your child with material stuff because you're
Yeah.
trying to give your kids all this stuff, right? So you're working your butt off because work or material stuff requires money. Money comes from work, and you got to work more to make more. So to buy that extra stuff, you're working your ass off and you're not spending time with your kid when your emotional love is what your kid's really wanting, not the
Yep.
material shit, because the material shit just wears off. It loses, just like we talk about new car smell. Whether you're a Christian or whatever, believe in worldly things or whatever, I don't give a crap right now. But I don't care what you are, atheist, Buddhist, whatever. When you buy something, it loses its luster after a certain amount of time. And that's
Yep.
how a kid is with the stuff you're buying them. It gets old. It gets old. It gets old. Emotional love does not wear off.
No.
You see what I'm saying? So the kid's
Yeah.
not getting any emotional love or even boundaries. Discipline's a form of love. People don't understand that. Your kid, there's older adults now that say that they used to do stuff on purpose just to get their parents' attention. They would
Yeah.
go mess up just to get their parents' attention.
And that's what I was thinking of. And that's what I was going to say next was, that is what they start doing. They start acting out.
Yeah.
And because they want attention. Now we see them as being bad.
Yes.
Why are they bad? Well, first of all, we're not taking time to talk to them. And when we do talk to them, we're
Right.
just grilling them about it, or we're trying to be their friend. That
Mhm.
is the worst thing you can do is just try to be your child's friend.
No.
There'll become a time and day where you and your child will be able to understand each other in a better situation. But
Mhm.
it's not when they're growing up. When your
No.
kids are adults, you can start having a little better relationship. This is how I think. You can start
Mhm.
having a better relationship with them as, friends, but you'll never be friends. That is your child. You're there to protect your child and you're there to help your child get to whatever they want to achieve in life.
Right.
And sometimes you can't be friendly with them in order to do that. You have to push them, on outside the realm of a friend. So you have to watch that.
Right. I mean, I'll call my daughter right now and put her on the mic and ask her, "Hey, what?" She's 26 years old. What happens if somebody puts their hands on you, a man? I better not find out about it because I'm still
Yeah,
her daddy. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
I'll go kill that mother effer. So just just being honest. I mean, I don't, and I told her that'll never leave me until my last breath.
Well, let me ask you this. So as you got
Yes,
older, has time become more precious to you? Have you understood more the value of time?
dude. Dude, I talk to you about this all the time offside of this, right? When we're just chatting before you hit record.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like I have no time at all, man. I don't care about the money no more, Brian. My time's more valuable than money.
Now, how valuable is your time when your children are young that you
I didn't
realize
even
now?
think about it. I
You
didn't think
didn't?
about it. I just ran hard, dude. I ran hard work because
Yeah,
I
and
felt that was my responsibility. I got to provide. I'm a provider.
yep,
And
I agree with you.
I lost a lot of stuff with my kids, a lot of birthday parties, a lot of events and things like that because I was too busy working.
And raising your kids should be the best time of your life. It should. And
It
at
should.
no other time in your life will you spend that much time with your child,
Right.
period. Once your
Right.
kid moves out, they start their own life, you'll still see them. And some people, they'll spend a lot of time with their kids, but it's time for them to start their life. And you have to take a step back if you haven't already. You got to learn. But we waste and we squander our time with our children because we're trying to make a life for ourselves. We're trying to make a life for our families. We're doing what we can. That's all we know. We're just young
Right.
people making our way through the world. And
Right.
I hate to say it, we think we know everything.
Mm-hmm.
We just did.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing that an older person could have told you, because if we would listen to our elders, I don't believe our country and our world would be in the state it is today.
Right.
You know, but yeah, so we squander all those precious moments with our kids, chasing things that we think are going to make us happy. Things that make somebody else rich, and steals the time from your own family.
Mm-hmm.
And then the system, I don't mean to holler at y'all, but the system raises our kids, and we wonder why they don't respect us or appreciate us. Think about that. They
Right.
spend all day with strangers.
Mhm.
They spend all day with kids
Daycare.
that you don't know. Yeah. And just with different, ideas or ideals than what you have.
Mhm.
They're teaching them that. And
Right.
they might actually start to develop a relationship with those people to where they can talk to them. And that'll cause resentment because they
Well,
want that from you.
dude, a sponge is gonna sponge. You can't just shut a sponge off. It's gonna soak up whatever it can. And if it's not you pouring into that sponge, it's gonna be something else, right?
Yep.
So they just don't shut it off waiting for your knowledge and your teachings. And I can't find my words right now. Something else I was wanting to say about that. They don't just shut it off waiting. It's wide open all the time, and something's filling that up if you're not doing it.
Yeah.
That's a good thought right there. Knowledge.
All
So
right. Yeah. And so this is where we're at in the world, and I blame the women's movement for that also. Now, this is how we get to a man's wage. I know I keep teasing that, but I figured that if women make less than men, which women do make less than men in most cases, then why pay a man more when you can pay a woman less? That would be basic math. I mean, I'm not breaking ground here. I get all that, but just basic math, it'd be cheaper to pay a woman. Of
Right.
course, some jobs that men do, most women couldn't perform. This is not chauvinistic. It's just basic biology, right? It's just some things that women can do that men can't do, and vice versa. It's just biology. Now, this doesn't mean that better than women. However, it means I have to explain myself because someone will think that I believe that men are better than women. And now here begins the problem. I feel like I have to give that disclaimer. You felt like earlier I had to give a disclaimer. And why? No, think about it. And why do we feel like we have to do that? It's because we program
society. Yeah, because society has created that
Yep.
we can't make an honest statement without offending this.
Exactly. I mean, we have to do it because somebody is going to get pissed off about it.
Right.
Regardless of what I meant with that statement, somebody's going to say, "Well, goddamn, he thinks men are better than women." No, I don't. I think we all have our different attributes. I think everybody has a purpose on this world. Having said that, some people are just better at things than other people. I don't care who you are. It's just the way shit is.
Right.
It's the way it is. All right. But me having to feel like I had to explain myself, that is part of a problem. And that problem also came from the women's movement. That wasn't supposed to be part of what my epiphany was. But when I was writing this out, I'm like, the only reason I got to explain myself is because the fucking women's movement. I'm not trying to beat up on a woman,
Right.
but tomatoes. All right. Now we know that we program to say things like that, just like they were trying to program us to pronoun everyone in the proper way. No matter what they do, they're doing all of this to create division, no matter how you look at it. And it's the same thing, I believe, with the women's movement. They took the women's movement, they tell a woman that they don't need a man, which biologically is false. You can be a successful woman. I agree with that. But to say that a man and a woman don't need each other, or if you just don't need someone in your life, is just wrong. And that could be a big reason why people are so miserable today, because they're trying to live a falsehood that somebody's just telling them. And you need somebody in your life. And so if they tell you that that man is a chauvinist because I just said that men and women are not equal, now you hate me as a woman. You don't know me. You just heard that one statement. You hate me because that's what they ingrained in your head, right? That's no different than what they do with politics, what they do with religion, what they do with race. It's all part of a division. They give you a binary choice, so you quit thinking for yourself. They make it programmed in your head to where you thinking in such a minute case that you heard me say men can do this and women can't, you automatically pissed off. You don't even have to understand the whole concept of what we're talking about. You automatically pissed off because you're trained that way. All right. But why did they really want the women's movement and women to go to work? I believe this is twofold. One, which we have discussed in the past, they want to take the children away from the family so they can indoctrinate them with government schooling. I mean, that's pretty fucking
That's true. That's truth right there.
Yeah. And then the second thing I think they did is I think they did this to bring the overall wage of the worker down, saving corporations major cash. I mean, think about it. In 1951, there were around 20 million women in the workforce. This was right after World War II. They had women building shit for the war, right?
Right.
And the industries took note. They seen that, hey, look, we can pay these women. They're doing a good job.
Right.
We can pay them a lower wage than we're paying the men, and we can get the same amount of work done or a variation of it done. They can get the work done. Well, today there's over 70 million women in the workforce. All right. You still with me?
Oh, I'm loving it. Go.
Okay. So
did I lock up or something?
No. I just want to make sure that I'm not losing you because I know I'm jumping all around, but I'm trying to bring this all together.
Yeah.
So,
no, you're
okay.
Keep doing it, dude. You're doing good.
All right. So can we agree that these women that entered the workforce would have taken jobs from men that previously worked in that field?
Yeah.
Okay. So can we agree that
they did because the men were over in the war?
Well, even then, so if we went from 20 million, which was at the war, and we added 50 more million women to the workforce, could we agree that before then, men might have been all in the office? There was no women in the office. Now some women come in the office. So regardless, they would take some jobs that men had before World War II. Let's put that way.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of them. Yeah.
Okay.
And they're getting paid less now.
Yep. And so we can agree that, right? That they're getting paid less than a man, which is horrible. Yep. I'm not.
Yep.
All right. So then we can agree, which would make, perfect logical sense, that hiring a woman would save a company money. In theory, right?
Yeah.
Simple math. All right. If you have a job that both a man and a woman can do, and the woman is cheaper, it's a no-brainer for a company, just be honest. Now, not only does that take a job away from a man, it brings a man's overall value down because it takes less money to hire a man to do a job. Yeah. Now, I'm not taking that away from women. I'm just how it happens. If you saturate the market with a bunch of people that can do something, that man's value just went down.
Dude, it's no different than illegal immigrants coming over here doing the job for less. If we get rid of them, guess what? Nobody's going to pay you to go pick lettuce and tomatoes at what it used to cost. You're going to get paid to what they paid immigrants.
And if you start bringing this in, this drives the overall wage down.
Yes.
For anyone doing that job.
Yes.
Right.
So if that woman quits, say she's making less than the dude, right? Because that's what they did. They paid them less. So say something happens, she dies, she quits, whatever, and a man goes to get that job, he's not going to get paid what it was paying before when it was solely a man's job. He's going to get paid what they were paying that woman. So now, therefore, he can't afford to provide for his family.
Exactly. Okay. And what that does, though, that drives up profit. That makes the fucking company very fucking happy.
Yeah.
Right? Now, the man has less opportunities, and to make good money because of this. Now, this is not boo-hoo for the man. Don't take that way. This is not man versus woman. As I said earlier, this is what they want you to believe. They want us, men and women, to be fighting over this shit. They want, us to talk shit about somebody, a woman or a man that got a job just because of who they were, or this, what was that DEI hire shit. They want you to fight over that stuff, but it's not us against each other. That's what you got to start thinking bigger. This is us versus them. This is us versus the corporations. All right. Yes, a woman gets paid less on average than a man, but also, yes, a man's wage has not kept pace with the inflation. Now, this is due to more women working for less pay. It's the same thing like you were saying for immigration. You start to get stagnant wages. So I looked at the average wage in the United States from 1951 to 2026. All right. And then from 1951 to 1972, the wage earnings was strong. So, it was going up from 51 to 72, it went up 50%, 40 to 50% in that time frame. In 1972 to 1976, it just went flat. When I pulled it up, when I graphed it out, I mean, it goes up straight across, just goes flat. It goes up. The average wage only increased in that 24 years, 0 to 15%.
Oh, you said 76. It's 1996.
No, yeah, okay, yeah, 1972 to 1996. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it went up 0 to 15%, 24 years.
Yep.
Right.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now, why you can't make a living? Why you need two people working? Because you don't have the buying power. It doesn't matter how much you're making between inflation. No, you're not keeping up with inflation.
Right.
So your buying power is going down. Yes, you might be making more dollars, but you got to chase
the value of that dollar is horrible.
Exactly. And now they have done a lot better things since then to go ahead and make pay for women better. So since 1996 to 2026, the pay went up 45 to 55%. Okay. Now, if I'd had more time, and now I'm thinking about it, I probably should have did the inflation rates just to see how all this went,
But I think everybody can kind of figure that out a little bit, Ryan. I know you like numbers and all that, but I think everybody understands we're not keeping up at all.
No, we're not. Now, this is what I want you to think about. I heard this morning that people coming out of college are having a hard time finding a job, and a lot of it's because of AI. Okay. Now, could AI push be another way to flatten the rise in wages? So they use women, then they use illegals, right? Or immigrants, however you want to look at it. And now, okay, let's just use AI. Is that another way to bring the wages down? I don't know. I didn't think that far into it, but I just started thinking about that question. All right.
As technology advances, why not?
Yeah, I mean, so do they want to get rid of that human tax? Remember we talked about that human tax a while back?
Yeah.
Maybe they want to get rid of that human tax. And of course, this is all just a conspiracy, right? This is all just a conspiracy theory. Oh, let me grab my hat. Let's go conspiracy on this, all right?
Okay.
So this made me feel a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, this. I don't want to think bad about.
Dude, hold up. Yeah, hold up. You still got that damn Marine in you, dude. You're trying to tuck that top in and all that stuff and make it all nice and clean up top. Look at him. Look at it. Yeah. Sorry. Only Marines would understand. Rolling that top in.
So I was like, I feel a little I ain't gonna say conspiracy, like a conspiracy theorist thinking about that, but I feel like maybe I was thinking in that a little bit too much. So I had to go online and start looking to find someone that thought the same shit. Because when I was talking to Jennifer outside, she agreed. She's like, yeah, I get that. And then I came and wrote it out. And then the more I wrote, I'm looking at it, I'm like, man, I don't know how this is going to go over. So I went to see if I can find somebody with a video that can explain it a little better. And I found this one guy talking about feminism, and he has some of the same things I say, but he says it a little more better than I do.
So, a
little more better. Let's check this dude out.
Think about it. What if the push for women to join the workforce wasn't just about empowerment, but something far more calculated? Feminism sold itself as liberation, yet many now see it as one of the most effective cons in modern history, a way to pull both parents into the tax system and hand over child rearing to the state. Back in the day, a single income was often enough to support a whole household. Dad worked, Mom stayed at home to raise the kids, and the families built real stability. Then came the feminist wave. Heavily backed by powerful interests, the Rockefeller family poured money into women's studies programs and activist groups. Gloria Steinem herself has ties to the CIA-funded operations in the 1960s. They didn't frame it as expanding the labor pool for tax revenue and social control. They packaged it as freedom and equality. The results were predictable and profitable. Suddenly, the government could tax 2 incomes instead of 1, effectively doubling the take from millions of households overnight. But with both parents grinding away at jobs, who was left to raise the children? That's where the school system stepped in. And the very same networks that bankrolled the movement, they shaped what those schools taught, turning education into a pipeline for their worldview. It's a closed loop. Extract more taxes from dual income families, then use public institutions to influence the next generation. Wages tell the rest of the story. When you flood the workforce with twice as many workers, basic supply and demand kicks in. Employers don't need to pay as much. What used to buy a house and support a family on one salary now barely covers rent for 2. Both parents work longer and harder for less real purchasing power per person. Meanwhile, strangers in classrooms spend the bulk of the day with your kids. This wasn't progress for most families. It was the largest quiet transfer of wealth and influence in generations. From households to the state and the elites who steer it, families lost time together, kids lost daily guidance from their own parents, and the pitch was always, you can have it all. In the end, feminism didn't free women. It bound both parents to the wheel, taxed twice as hard, time-starved, and watching their kids molded by institutions instead of their own values. The architects profited from the labor and the loyalty of the next generation. Call it whatever you want, but don't call it accidental.
Yeah, I was glad I found him because it made me feel a little better. Now, I didn't think about the tax situation whenever I was watching that. I'm sure they had a lot more fucking, things they thought about on how to get shit out of us. You can't trust any of these people.
Well, they got them in there. They paid less, which brought the wages down. Now they get both of them in there. They get more taxes, right?
Yeah.
The tax that goes back to the government with dual parents working, and you're getting more work done with 2 people for less money.
But you're winning.
Yeah.
You're winning.
Way to go, women. I mean, for anybody that gets upset that we're talking about this, you're getting screwed.
Yeah, it's not the women's fault. They were just led in the wrong way,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Somebody got under you or got that whatever part of you that was like, oh, really? Oh, well, yeah, let's go out and do this. I mean, hey, now I know there was some women that were done dirty. I mean, my grandpa, I love him to death. He died in 9, my best friend, and I didn't see this part of him. But when he was younger, married to my grandma and with the kids, he went to the bar a lot and drank and fought and all that stuff. And my grandma maintained that house and maintained him. And he put a lot on her, right? And it wore her down. And women don't deserve to be treated like that.
No, and
By no means. It should be a joint house. It should be equal. You know what I'm saying? When the man comes home, it should be a 50-50. The guy don't need to be going to the gym and going to the bar while the woman sits at home.
no,
Does that make sense?
I agree with you saying, and I also agree that I can see in some instances where a woman just never want to depend on a man again. I get that because I
Yeah.
can see how a man would never want to depend on a woman again. I understand that. I'm not
Right.
saying that there aren't those instances. I just think it's unhealthy to raise people or to constantly beat that into somebody's head. Now,
Yeah.
once it shows you that, yes, this is the wrong path to go and you learn it, or if you see someone, I get that, but just to not want to be part of something because somebody told you it's a bad idea to be part of something that's actually natural,
Right.
that's a problem to me.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know?
It is.
All right. I hope you got a little something out of that because
No, yeah, that was good.
all right. All right, so my next epiphany is about Candace Owens. I watch Candace Owens. I like Candace Owens, and I've said before, that Candace is like your mom trying to scold you, but not yelling at you, but she means business.
Mhm.
And I watch her, and she's great at her craft. She is. I mean, she's either really good at selling emotion and confidence, or she's just a speaker of truth. You know, she's either a real great liar or she's just a speaker of truth. And I think she's the latter. You know, I don't think
Right.
she's lying at all, but she speaks with conviction all the time.
Yes.
And
She speaks from her heart, and that's what I like about her.
yes. And after I notice all this, I mean, I think about it. This woman is so convicted in how she's just going after, TPUSA and all. I would never want her after me. She is like just straight in your face,
Yeah.
like, let me tell you something about you that your mama don't know, shit like that.
Right.
She is just fucking in there. And she always looks to be right on that edge of just wishing a bitch would. She's just like, she's right. She don't lose her cool, but she's just right there, Like 1 second she's a beauty queen, the next second, bam, her hair fucking going back, earrings are coming out, fucking shoes coming off. She's going straight over this fucking desk. You know what I'm saying? Just straight bum rushing a bitch. Yeah, she'd be like, oh, hell, but nah, let me tell you something. But I mean,
you
it'd
better
be
ask
terrifying.
somebody.
Yeah, you better ask somebody. It'd be terrifying to know that she was on your shit, right?
I know.
I mean, seriously.
And she doesn't tiptoe around stuff either. That's what I
No.
like.
I mean, it's beautiful to watch. I have
Yes.
so much admiration for her. And the other part of it, and this is not part of what I wanted to talk about, the other part of admiration I have for her is she doesn't give a fuck at all. She doesn't care who she calls out. She's coming with straight facts. She don't care how powerful you are. She don't care who you are. This is what she's going to tell you. She's going to tell you exactly how she feels because she knows that what she's telling you is true. And if what she's telling you isn't true, she believes exactly what she's telling you is true. The same way I am. I might not
She's not
tell
lying.
you the truth. She's not lying. Not knowingly lying by no means.
Yes.
I don't believe that
if
at
she
all.
feels convicted about knowledge that she has, then that's what she puts out. And that's what I like. That's how I am. I'm tired of beating around the bush. I'm tired of trying to be nice to everybody. I'm just going to tell you what I feel, and that's it. Now, if I'm wrong, then present me with the evidence that I'm wrong. Don't just argue with me to argue with me. Present me with the evidence. I'll look at evidence and be like, oh, my bad. I'll admit, man, I messed up. Might take a little while, but
that's one thing about her. They'll tell her she's crazy. She don't know this, but they won't tell her why she's wrong.
hey, just like I told you the story earlier before we got the recording about me jumping out of my truck without my PPE on because I was upset. I admitted that to our HR this morning when I was talking to her about it. You see what I'm saying? I admit my faults. I don't hide my faults.
Well, you keep a clear conscience when you do that. My grandpa told me the only people that can't sleep at night are the ones that have a bad conscience, and I sleep good every night. I sleep great every night, and I don't want to have a bad conscience. I don't want to
sleep during the day, but
but you know what I'm getting at. You don't
give
toss and
love to the
turn
third
worrying
shift.
about shit in your head. You just got a clear conscience.
Well, the only thing I worry about is, man, did we do this? Did we get this done? It's just stuff at work that gets run into my head. You've had that too, but if your boys are working on a project or something, but go ahead.
All right. So thinking about how convicted she is and how hard she's going after Erica Kirk and TPUSA. I mean, if she was going after me, that would terrify me. Okay.
Right.
I just would, especially if
there's something there. If you know she's going at that hard, there's something there.
Yeah. And now picture this. This is what I started thinking of.
Yeah.
Factor in, I don't know, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions of women that stand behind her, fucking claws out. Think about it. As most women, when they're trying to protect their loved ones, like I was saying earlier, they would fucking just lay down their life for them.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the wrath of all these women coming together for one purpose, to support
I'd rather
Candace.
have a nuclear bomb go off.
Yeah, I mean, it's just something about a woman's determination when she wants to protect someone she loves.
The wrath of a woman's horrible.
Yeah, so now you have Candace with a fuck ton of women backing her. I mean, all the woo girls and fucking you go girls. She
ought to be the next president. She ought to be the next.
The
first female. Yeah,
she has a fucking following, and now Candace doesn't need confidence. But imagine the confidence this gives her because she's not only representing herself, but she sees all these other people believing in her. So, I mean, this thing is just growing and growing and growing. So now you have a fuck ton of women that are investigating They all this shit, putting their spidey senses in it. They ain't leaving no stone unturned. If me and you started talking about shit and we wanted to go look at something, we'd be interested in it. We'd go ask a guy, hey man, you seen this? He's like, no, you sure? Yeah. And you just walk the fuck away. Not that woman. She gonna sit around his house all fucking night looking and fucking taking pictures. I know this motherfucker up to something.
It's like my wife and her friends on their Discord, dude. They all in the T. They call it T now, I guess.
Think about that. There ain't an AI system in the world.
That can out surveillance a woman. Yeah.
No, not that in the beauty salon in the Discord room.
No. No. Nope. AI ain't got shit on that. They ain't figured that one out yet.
It ain't gonna happen. Hey, just think about it. So you got all these people following Candace and helping Candace. And there's so many people that's helping Candace. Now, Candace the information is so popular that people that were helping Candace have their own successful podcast, going over and breaking down Candace's analysis and adding further angles. And I mean, it's just this whole network, this web of information that's just going on,
Right.
So think about it. You got the podcasters that follow Candace that are now digging and investigated. This continues to grow and spider web out, maybe millions of people operating as one. All right. Mm-hmm. Think of in this country, millions of people operating as one, all for a cause that our fucking government doesn't even want to investigate. Think about that.
Yeah, I know.
Nothing to see here, right?
Yeah.
Nothing to see here. But yet they got millions. I mean, Candace is leading this charge. TPUSA and Erica are on notice, and they fucking know it. I mean, they fucking know it. And these people aren't going to just stop. Even if you took the head off right now, if you shut Candace down, you're not going to shut down them other women. You're just not.
Well, that's where I get upset with TPUSA is not. It's that they use God.
Oh yeah.
You better keep. I mean, I don't understand you people, man. I really don't understand. Don't mock the creator. Don't use him to get gain, because you are going to suffer beyond this world for doing that. And there's just read the book.
Yep.
Get in the book.
Like I said, I've been reading the Old Testament, and God talks about people that use religion, to hide, use the religion as a cloak to hide their shit, and
right, or to use it to get gain and all that. Yes,
yeah, it does not end well for you in God's eyes. It just doesn't.
No.
So yeah, I mean, if these people are doing more to find out what happened to Charlie Kirk, then the wife of Charlie Kirk, then the people that work for Charlie Kirk, then the best friends of Charlie Kirk. Think about it. These people are doing more in the government. I mean, make sense. How does that does nothing. That makes
what's happened to the dude they said that shot him? I have not heard a white hair word on that cat since it happened. And they found him. There has nothing been said. No trial, no update. Nobody's talking about it no more, Brian. Why? Candace is. What's his name? The other dude we like.
Tucker?
Tucker. He's brought it up or Charlie. She won't let it go. And I love it. She ain't going to let it go until people are held responsible. Because it wasn't that dude. It was not that dude on that roof. It was not. So we'll just stop that.
I liked about Candace, though, she gave it time to marinate. She just didn't go after Erica. She didn't just start, just saying Erica was a bad person. She watched it all play out like all of us. Now, don't get me wrong. She had a lot more information than us. But, I mean, I don't give a shit who you are. If you are a normal, logical human being and you watch the big festival thing, what they did for Charlie Kirk, the dedication, I don't remember what they called it when they did it in that big-ass stadium and this fucking fireworks going off and all this shit, and she walks out and she gives this soap opera performance, and she fucking eyes up, and you didn't think something was wrong. I think at that fucking point, majority of people, sane people, were looking at it like that's not right. I mean, we even said it when first said that just don't pass the smell test. It just don't. I mean, something's wrong with that. You don't grieve like that. I don't think cats are that fucking ornery to grieving. I think a cat would at least fucking go lay down by its owner, and cats are pretty fucking ornery. They said cats will actually eat his owner after so many days. So hold on, I got to grab my hat for this one. Let's move this a little further.
Okay.
All right. So here's another angle on this shit that I started thinking of after all that. And this might seem far-fetched, and that's why I put the hat on, all right?
Okay.
So just let me know if I get too far out of left field and you're not following me. All right.
Okay.
Let's say that Candace Owens is 100% true. 100% no doubt. All right. And honestly, I believe, everything she says is 100%. If it isn't 100%, just like I said earlier, it's pretty fucking close. And if it's a lie, it was the best information she thought was right at that time. I mean, can we agree on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Candace shit works in her favor, and the truth will always find a way. All right. So TPUSU is found to have done some shady shit. Let's just say, I don't know what it is. Let's just say they were found to do some shady shit. All right. So this not only looks bad for TPS. This doesn't only look bad for TPUSA. It's a kick in the balls for the FBI. Think about that. Because the FBI ain't do nothing. She finds all this shit out, all this works out. Bam, TPUSA done some shady shit. FBI, why you didn't do anything? Well, we were, I don't know, doing fucking lines of coke on a hooker's ass or something. All right. So just think about that. All right. So this is why they have to control the media, the social media, and every fucking thing. Think about that. If this works out, like a fuck ton of people think it will, all right, it would be the biggest fuck you to government in our lifetime. And maybe ever, depending on how big this movement grows. There's no way that these people don't know that this could be a tipping point. Are you with me?
No, I'm totally understanding, because all trusting FBI, CIA is gone. Gone. It's already going anyways. It's already out the door, and she's about to slam the door shut.
Yep. Yeah. And we're using social media to connect all this stuff, using millions of people to get information that at one time you couldn't
We're
get.
crossing the threads. Yeah.
Yep.
Social media is crossing the threads. Where are we talking about? Yep.
So, I mean, let's bring this motherfucker down, right? So now the people in this great country, all right, start to realize that we aren't so different. We want some of the same things in life. Hell, we want most of the same things in life. People start to realize they've been lied to, even worse than that. Fuck, they've been controlled majority of their life.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a good opportunity for when we can take our country back. Unless the elites stop us. And how do they stop us? All right. Well, one,
I see what you got written down. Yeah. This is
so
scary.
one, they want to go ahead and they want to take away your social media so you can't talk to each other.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why they kept threatening to shut down TikTok and all that.
Yeah. I mean, they do not want you doing that.
Right.
But the one way these fuckers can stop us is with new technology, or robots and AI technology weapons. I mean,
that don't have any.
No. And we've been talking about this for weeks, but not in this aspect. So I'm throwing this shit together. Right. All right. So we talk about fighting robots in the end of days, fucking Terminator. We everybody in our generation and maybe younger, they've all talked about what happened when Terminator comes out, right?
Right.
But what if we only fighting robots because of the elites of the world are using the robots to get rid of humans? Think about it.
That's crazy, man.
Is this why there's a race for AI? Why we need so many data centers? That, by the way, each data center, I don't know if you know this, can draw the electricity of more than 100,000 homes. All right, each data center.
Wonder if that's why all these solar farms are going up.
Well, currently, we have, depending on how you count the data center, because some data centers are defined as other things. We got, in the United States, we got between 4,000 and 5,400 data centers. All right. And it's growing.
Right.
In the world, there's 11,000 to 12,000 data centers. The United States has most in the world. All right. They have more data centers. The United States have more data centers than the next 14 countries. So like the United Kingdom has roughly 500. Germany has roughly 500, just to give you an idea. China has like 450. We got 4,000 to 5,400. All right. There's no way to keep up with the energy needed to support the data center growth. It's just not possible. We can't build, the way they want to get data centers, we can't build energy grid fast enough to keep it up. Now, where they expecting the data centers to go? Now, understanding that the growth of a data center, I didn't understand this, so just explain to you. It's not measured in data centers, it's measured in power. And they're expecting the power growth of these centers to double in the next 5 years and be 6 times larger in the next 10 years. Okay. So if we got 4,000 right now, let's just use simple math. If we got 4,000 right now and we're going to have 6 times more, so we're looking at 24,000 data centers, right?
In 10 years. Damn.
Yeah, in 10 years. If we just counted it on data centers, I know it just
Yeah.
said power, but it's just using simple math. So was that 24,000? And we said it was 100,000 fucking houses that of electricity that want. You see how exponentially this grows as far as. All right, so the most effective way to support these centers is with nuclear power. However, it takes years to build nuclear facilities, and honestly, I don't even know if the U.S. wants to keep up, with nuclear facilities.
Right.
So, how do we keep up? Now, one way that I thought of, and I was like, man, you know what they're going to do is they're going to just start taking your power from your house. I was like, you know what? They're just going to take your power from you. But then I started doing a little research on it, and it don't make sense, because if they took power from your house, then you're not a consumer. You need a consumer in order to, in order for someone to want to use AI. So everyone has to have power for all this work, right? So that's counterproductive.
Right.
It doesn't really work out in a capitalistic standpoint. All right.
Mm-hmm.
So if they looking to make money, it doesn't make sense for them to take our power.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings me back to how they really want to keep us in check. So keeping us in check is more valuable to the elites than anything else. All right. Money means nothing when millions of people are revolting against you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So especially millions of armed fucking people revolting against you. So right now, roughly 81 million Americans own firearms in the United States. Okay. 72 to 79% of these people cite that they own a firearm for protection. So these aren't just all hunters. So we in the 70 percentile of people to say they have a firearm for protection. Now, the U.S. population makes up less than 5% of the global population, but accounts for 40 to 46% of the world's civilian-owned firearms. We have a lot of fucking firearms. All right. So to put this in perspective, we have 120 and a half firearms per 100 U.S. residents in our country. The next closest country is Canada with 34.7 per 100. That's roughly 85 firearms per 100.
Right.
We have a fuck ton of firearms, and is this how they take our firearms? Is this how they keep us in check? They go ahead and they take these AI and they take these robots, and you know what? If we prove, and I'm going back to Candace, if Candace goes in, she proves that all that shit shady, that they took the American people, all these rabid women and men, whoever's following Candace and doing this great job, guys. If I'm just fucking with you if you hear this shit, but I think y'all doing a great fucking job. But if they go ahead and they take down TPUSA, or even if they fucking even go further and find government involvement, if they find all this shit out and it fucks them up, that makes the American people realize that they have a voice, and their voice is through social media. So the elites have to shut that shit down. Now, they just can't come take our guns from us, but if they invest their time in the robots and AI, it's quite possible that they can get our shit from us, because now we're fighting robots that the elites are pushing against us to stop us from taking our country over. Now, I know this sounds far-fetched, all right? But think about what we was talking about last week with Palantir and AI and Lavender and the gospel and Where's Daddy. They were using that shit to track people, and it was shooting them just all willy-nilly.
Right.
They were just taking people out.
Right.
They could easily do that here. Between the flock cameras, the Ring doorbell cameras, every camera we have in this goddamn country.
Our webcams.
Yeah, our webcams, everything linked into Palantir and to their sites and their AI. They have all they need to feed whatever cyborg, robot, or whatever they want for us to fight against.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, that's
And
crazy.
does that make sense?
No, it does, and I've been wanting to say that. I mean, it's when we were talking about AI and all that stuff, I said, dude, I was about to tell you last week, I think, or the week before, can't remember what show it was, that I'm getting nervous that it's coming to a point they're going to handle us.
Yeah, I don't know why we need all them data centers. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah,
Why do we
what's
have so many data centers compared to the rest
more
of the world?
more than the other countries? Why? That doesn't make sense.
No, they don't. And is it because we have so many weapons? I don't know.
We're built to defend ourselves.
We exactly. The other countries don't need as much because they don't have as much defense as we do.
Yeah.
We can defend ourselves.
Right.
All right. Well, I just want to throw that out. And so, having said all that, today I found the future in energy, what I like to call it. So it's Trump and fusion power. I've never heard of this, but I heard about it today, so I figured I'd just throw it in here and share it to you. Watch, check this out.
Donald Trump on Thursday did something the globalists have dreaded for 50 years. He bet his name and his company, Truth Social, fully behind developing commercial fusion power. Truth Social is now merging with a fusion energy company, TAE Technologies, to produce the first commercial fusion reactor. Like Sputnik in the 1950s and 60s, this is the new space race. The nation that wins the fusion race will wield enormous economic and military power and dominate the entire next century. Here's Devin Nunes, the CEO of Truth Social and the head of the President's Foreign Intelligence Advisory Board, talking about it.
Now, I spent a lot of time in Congress working on nuclear power. Unfortunately, legislation that I proposed, 20 years ago didn't pass because the Congress decided that they should invest in windmills and solar panels. However, there was a company called TAE, the one that we're merging with, that actually continued to invest. So families like Chuck Schwab's family, investors like Stanley Druckenmiller, Google, Chevron, many others continued to invest in TAE. So this is private money, not government money. But for a quarter century, they've amassed the best scientists that the world has to offer. And they've produced now, they've built 5 generations of the reactor. And now we're stepping in, folding them into our company so that we can help them build their first reactor. So this is a fusion reactor. It's clean. It's one that the first one will be up to 50 megawatts. The future ones will be somewhere between 350 to 500. Now, what does that mean? Wow. That means these are big enough to replace pretty much or add to the existing power generation that we have in this country. It's a good size. Now, look, this is breakthrough technology. When this is done, and I don't say this lightly, this will be the most important discovery and invention since the first Manhattan Project.
The mainstream media is, of course, belittling this.
So now we're going to go to fusion power. I'm not going to say that we don't need, a better way for power, but they keep wanting to lean on, we need this for the AI race. And I still can't understand, how much power do we need for data centers? How many data centers do we need? How far do we need to let this get?
Yeah, what all data are you collecting?
Yeah, because what I wish I had the numbers again, but it's unfathomable amount of fucking information. Like 500 years of information they can put in these things. It was unreal.
Right. It's getting a little scary, dude.
Well, just us knowing it is fucking scary. And people think there's no way.
I'd like a more dependable power source. Like,
me too.
I was
Yeah.
talking like a fusion cell or whatever behind my house, where like maybe once a year a truck would come energize it and then leave, and it lasts for all year, and no thunderstorm, no stuff like that would knock it out, right? Like an ice storm. Like I would constantly have power to my house. That would be awesome. But
Very awesome.
yeah, but what they're doing, what they don't have Jason Hedrick having power in their mind. It's for something else.
So you don't think that they're out for your best interest? You don't?
Come on, Brian. Yeah, man. It's all
Well,
about me.
I'm glad you said that because there's gonna be some people that I mean, again, I got my tinfoil hat on, but there's gonna be some people that just think I'm crazy. And I found a video. It's called 8 Things That the US Government Lied to People About. And we've discussed some of these in the past. And I just wanted to bring some of these up again in case we have a new listener or someone that hasn't seen it. And also because you have to understand what the government has done to us in the past. And these are just a few of them. Now, the video is going to cover 8 of them. So if you want to stop and discuss any of them anytime, just let me know and I'll go ahead and stop it. But I'll go ahead and play this. This is the 8 times that the government lied to us.
8 things the government lied about. Number 1. The Gulf of Tonkin incident. In 1964, President Johnson told Americans that North Vietnamese ships attacked a U.S. destroyer. The attack never happened. The lie gave Congress the votes to pass the Gulf of Tonkin resolution. It launched the Vietnam War. Decades later, declassified documents proved the government knew it was false. Number 2. The Tuskegee syphilis study. Starting in 1932, the U.S. Public Health Service told 600 black men they were getting free health care for bad blood. They were actually being watched die from syphilis. Doctors withheld penicillin even after it became the proven cure in 1947. The study lasted 40 years. The government only admitted the truth when a reporter exposed it in 1972. Number 3. The CIA's MK Ultra program. In the 1950s and 60s, the CIA drugged American citizens with LSD without their knowledge. Prisoners, mental patients, and even CIA employees were dosed. The goal was to find mind control methods. The program was exposed in 1975. Most documents were destroyed. The full truth may never be known. Number 4. The Gulf of Tonkin wasn't the only one. In 1981, the Navy claimed Libyan jets fired on American aircraft. The Reagan administration used the incident to justify military action. Years later, officials admitted no attack happened. The story was fabricated to rally public support. Number 5. The Tuskegee experiments weren't the only medical lies. Between 1945 and 1962, the government injected plutonium into hospital patients without telling them. They told patients they were receiving treatment. Instead, doctors were studying how long radioactive materials stayed in the human body. Some patients lived for decades with plutonium in their bones. Number 6. The Waco siege. In 1993, the government told Americans they raided the Branch Davidians for illegal weapons. 76 people died, including 25 children. Years later, declassified files showed the ATF had no warrant and botched the operation from the start. The government's official story changed multiple times. Number 7. The FBI's campaign against Martin Luther King Jr. J. Edgar Hoover called King the most dangerous man in America. The FBI wiretapped him, blackmailed him, and sent him anonymous letters urging him to commit suicide. The public didn't know the extent until years after King's death. Before I say the last one, follow for more history content. Number 8. The Pentagon Papers. In 1971, a secret government report was leaked showing the government had lied about Vietnam for decades. Presidents from Truman to Johnson knew the war was unwinnable. They kept sending soldiers anyway. The government tried to stop publication. The Supreme Court ruled the press had the right to publish. The truth finally came out.
And today they have your best interests in mind.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's many other conspiracies. And the one that they were talking about injecting the people or giving them plutonium. I read one, and I don't know if it's the same study that they did, but they were doing that also with pregnant women.
Mm.
And I was like, that is just fucked up.
I know.
And then they had they were using airborne pathogens to get people sick with some, I forgot what the illness was, like in I think they did it in Georgia. I know they did it in San Francisco because of the fog and maybe like New Jersey or something.
Hmm.
And they were just blowing this shit into the fog and just seeing how many people actually went to the hospital and recording, how they were getting sick. And
Right.
it's just science, of course, right? They just fuck. These people hate you, man. They hate you.
Mm-hmm.
And I still believe that Charlie Kirk, I still believe they killed him because he was the greatest wave they've ever seen of enthusiasm of young people coming up, for any movement, conservative, liberal, whatever. He took a whole generation and brought them to the ballot box. You can't buy that kind of power. I mean, you can only earn that kind of power. You only is as strong as especially in the instance of our government, they're only as strong as the people. It's us. I mean, if we decide we're not going to do anything for them, then they have nothing. The problem is you'll never get us all to agree on anything because they pit us against each other. But Charlie Kirk was able to bring a whole bunch of people together.
Mhm.
And you can't buy that kind of leadership. You can't buy that kind of following. And they knew that. And it seemed like Charlie, was not playing ball and they needed younger voters and they couldn't reach them. So they figured they just hijack Charlie's shit, right?
Mhm.
And then Charlie was like, "Fuck, bro, we wasn't asking, to get in all this shit, but oh yeah, you're not getting into my shit." And of course, they just had to get rid of him because they needed his movement to get whoever done this to get them to the next level.
Yeah.
And Charlie wasn't willing to do it,
Right.
And I really believe.
And before he exposed, they took him out, which made him look like then TPUSA tried to play on that to get his supporters to follow them to avenge his death.
And I lean
Let
more
him not
and-
die in vain. He wants this war.
And you don't even have to listen to Candace to draw this line. When you look at what Israel does and how Israel's been doing their damnedest to be able to control social media so they can control the young mind because they lost the young people. They especially lost the young people during the Gaza thing. I mean, they were the biggest advocate against Israel in Gaza. Most of us, I know people around my age was looking at these young people like, what the hell are you protesting about? And
Right.
as you learn more and more, because they were watching something totally different than what we were watching,
Right.
you understand what was going on and why they were so mad.
Right.
And the Israelis, they couldn't have that. And I think that's why they needed Charlie. And
Right.
there's so many videos I see and so many things I read about Israel stating just that they need to get the young people. Now, this next clip I got is from a couple years ago, and it's Jonathan Greenblatt. Now, who is Jonathan Greenblatt? He's the CEO of ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. And what the fuck is the ADL? The ADL is the Anti-Defamation League. It's a New York-based international advocacy group founded in what year? 1913. Couldn't be part of the Great Reset, could it? With that stated purpose of combating anti-Semitism, as well as other forms of bigotry and discrimination. The ADL is also known for its pro-Israel advocacy. And since the 1970s, it has promoted a concept of the new anti-Semitism, describing criticism of Israel or opposition to Zionism as anti-Semitic. So according to the ADL, if you say anything about Israel or, Israel's, if you oppose Israel or you oppose Zionism, you're anti-Semitic. You hate all Jews.
Hey, real quick, I was watching a TikTok, and you can't believe everything you see on TikTok, but it was a dude recording himself going outside being confronted by the police and looked like maybe some ATF or FBI or something like that. And he was asking why are you here? Because he was making public statements online about Israel.
Really?
Now they didn't have nothing. They ended up walking away and leaving. But they were there kind of harassing him for him being on social media, making comments.
So they
against
deliberately
Israel.
went to his house or his area?
Yes, went to look at him and get eyes on him.
That's fucked
There
up.
was 3 of them, and they had the tack vest on, and you know what I'm saying. It wasn't like your friendly neighborhood Barney Fife showing up. It was
Yeah, he wasn't just doing a social call.
no. They weren't just checking on it, like what do they call that when they health and welfare check?
Yeah,
They weren't doing that.
welfare check. Yeah.
Yeah, they weren't doing that. And I ain't kidding. If somebody rolls up to my house or your house because of what we're talking about, you can't tell me what I can talk. I'm not threatening anybody. I'm not sitting there saying that I'm going to go over there and do this or do that. I'm just saying I don't agree with what's going on.
Well, according to the ADL, you can't even say that.
Yeah, well, you know what? They can
lick these balls.
They can shuck it.
All right, so listen to Jonathan Greenblatt back in, I don't think it was 2023, talking about, how they're losing young people, basically.
Want to point out out that we have a major generational problem. All the polling I've seen, ADL's polling, ICC's polling, independent polling, suggests this is not a left-right gap, folks. The issue in the United States support for Israel is not left and right. It is young and old. And the numbers of young people who think that Hamas's, massacre was justified is shockingly and terrifyingly high. And so we really have a TikTok problem, a Gen Z problem, that our community needs to put the same brains that gave us Taglit, the same brains that gave us all these other amazing innovations, need to put our energy towards this, like fast. Because again, like we've been chasing this left-right divide, it's the wrong game.
So tell me though, that plead right there doesn't echo that they could easily want to hijack TPUSA for their benefit.
Mhm.
They need young people.
Yeah.
What's the biggest young people movement? Fucking TPUSA.
Mhm.
And what's even worse is allegedly, somebody might have assassinated Charlie Kirk, a part of all this, right?
Mhm.
And TPUSA gets more and more people based off of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Now, I think some of that might have regressed by now, but I mean, they made a lot of money and they made a lot of headway. Now, I hope
Mhm.
I'm wrong, and that didn't happen. It was just some weird guy that went up there, and it's not this, big, deep cabal of people that's trying to work all this shit out to keep controlling us. I really hope I'm wrong.
Well, yeah, but we can't believe that, Brian, because we know weapons and the 30-06 did not do what that did.
Yep.
If
But
you're
I
going to
hope I'm
lie,
wrong.
at least stop hoping that you're wrong, because now you're saying you're ignorant to weapons.
No, I'm not trying to be ignorant by no means, but at the same time, I just want to have a little hope. I look at so much dark shit. I look at so much shit that just that don't look like it. These people hate you. They don't give a flying fuck about. I mean, when you even think about, I was watching something on Agent Orange the other day, and you just think about how they just dropped Agent Orange all over our people. They knew what that fucking shit was going to do, but they didn't care. They didn't, because we don't mean anything to them. We're not even a pawn. We're just somebody to put out there to get in the way of their enemy until they're ready to do something else.
Braveheart, where they're Russian, the people are fighting in the middle, and the king says archers, and he goes, "Sir?"
Yep.
He goes, "Archers." He goes, "Well, won't that kill some of us?" "Yeah, but it'll kill them too."
Yep.
He admitted he knew it was going to kill their own people, but he didn't care. They're expendable. And
That's
that's
all
how
they are, is
our
expendable.
government looks at us.
There's less people you got to take care of.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't even think about that. If you don't come back from war,
Yeah.
it might be cheaper for them just to pay out your life insurance policy than to take care of you.
Yeah, totally. You imagine the bills to sit there and pay for PTSD and anything else that they suffered over there versus just kill them off. And we'll cut that $50,000 life insurance check. There you go. I mean,
Yeah, your life's not meant. It doesn't mean a whole lot to them at all. So when you think that they won't, I'm hoping I'm wrong with Trump. I hope he really believes that these guys' lives mean something. One thing that I am tired of, and we're going to discuss this a little more later, is not only do we have people that hide behind religion, they hide behind our military. Well, if you don't support this, you don't care about your military. No, I love our military. That doesn't mean I like the decision you making with our military. That doesn't mean I
Yeah.
want, our military to lose their lives or to have a chance of losing their life over some dumb shit. Just because I don't agree with your thinking doesn't mean I don't support our military. That's the whole problem with this. Everything is binary. Everything is binary, and
Right.
is made to make you be pinned against someone else. They do not want you to talk about this shit. They don't want you to have a discussion. They just want you to fucking have one-liners against each other. What so-and-so did? What so-and-so did? Yeah, but what so-and-so did? Shut up.
Yeah, whatever. Shut your mouth.
Just shut up. And is this why we had to go to war with Iran so quickly? Because they're losing, the support from the young base. So, I mean, think about it. Who's going to fight the war? It's going to be the young people.
Mhm.
If you start losing more and more support for our allies,
Mhm.
less people might want to join. You're going to have less support of the parents, that of the war is a lot of things that you can lose. I don't know. I mean, just throwing something out there. This could be a possibility. All right. So we haven't heard a whole lot about JD Vance, but I seen this morning on JD Vance, and it's his anti-fraud task force that he had started. Trump had put him in charge of this, I think, a few months ago. Maybe whenever they started all that shit in Minnesota, they had started a fraud task force, and he's with Mehmet Oz. You remember Dr. Oz? He had his own TV show.
Mm-hmm.
So as of right now, and they suspended 70 hospice and home health care providers in Los Angeles area for high risk fraud. So we get more and more and more fraud. Now, I'm going to throw Governor Newsom a bone because they did say that he revoked 280 licenses from his own fraud task force prior to this. But they said the taxpayer impact, there's no exact figure on this for the 70 providers.
Mm-hmm.
But the broader LA context includes a $105 million in 1 year of overbilling estimates and billions in total Medicare claims volumes in the area.
Billions?
Just in Los Angeles area. Billions. So there you go. There's if it didn't make you feel better that the elites might one day turn robots against us to kill us all, they're just fucking stealing your money anyway. So
that's a slow death.
There's a slow burn, baby.
It's
Slow burn.
It's a slow
man. And in all this shit, why they can't pass a motherfucking budget?
Here we go with the budget again.
How the fuck they still ain't...
This is probably your biggest nemesis is the budget.
Man, it pisses me off. I mean, because they hiding behind the military. They're hiding behind religion. Now they're hiding behind TSA workers.
Yeah.
The people, why are you fucking with their money? You're using them as leverage. That is sad. I mean, if there's anything to show you that they don't give a fuck about you, is that.
Right.
They don't give a shit about you.
But Elon said he was going to pay him, right?
I don't care who pass a fucking button. Let the politicians show that they care about them. That's what I want to see. I
like you saying that they need to lock them up in a room until they're done. It's kind of like they do the priest.
Exactly.
When the Pope dies.
Yep.
And they put them priests in that room and lock the door, the conclave or whatever they call it.
Yep. Until they see the smoke come out.
Until you see that white smoke. Then we know a budget's passed when the white smoke
feed them
comes.
fucking bologna and cheese sandwiches. Or fuck, they don't even get cheese. They get a bologna sandwich. If they stay on a Friday, we'll give them a can of tuna and some crackers.
Yeah.
So they can make their Lent in case they fucking Catholic. But pass a fucking budget.
I know. It's sad.
They keep blaming the Democrats. Okay, I understand that the Republicans have a slight majority and they're going to need some Democrats. All right. Figure it out. You only need a few of them. Figure it out. Fucking figure
Well, yeah, but I think the Democrats are agreeing to everything other than they want ICE defunded or something to do with ICE. Yeah,
figure it out. I don't care what they have to do.
Well, dude, they can't win elections if they don't have fucking illegals. So,
well, this is how I look at it.
See, now you got me throwing the F-bomb out.
Well, Trump wants to write all these executive orders, which, again, you need to pay these people. Just because the fucking congressmen and the senators are a bunch of fucking morons, these people need to get paid. So I'm not against that. Having said that, all of them need to be fired. Every fucking one of them need to be fired. If you can't figure that out, fire. I mean, it's been, 6 months?
You're incompetent.
Yeah. You halfway to the 2027 budget and you haven't fucking done the 2026 budget.
26 budget. Yeah.
That is fucking total incompetence.
Mm-hmm.
There is no way that you can, God, and that's supposed to be for the American people.
Mm-hmm.
All right, make a rule. If you don't have the budget passed, or let's even do it one further, we have to vote on the budget.
Mm-hmm.
And the budget you have to go through all, the ones that you have to do, if you want to do an amendment, you got to vote on it separately. Fuck all this pork shit they putting in there. And we won't have these problems. Okay, look, we can vote this one in. We can vote this one in. All that shit don't need to be tied together. That's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, asshole motherfuckers. Yeah, but they did TSA wrong, man. They did them wrong.
They are, man.
And I was talking to.
I don't think them assholes should get paid either. Take their money and pay TSA, the Congress, and the Senate, and all that, all the government.
They shouldn't get paid. They not only should they not get paid, they should not get paid nor be able to use any government benefits, whether it's flying or anything, until the fucking budget's passed.
Medical and everything. All your benefits are frozen.
Any benefits.
All your
should not
shit's
get
frozen. Yep.
I mean, this is ridiculous.
You're on house arrest until you pass something.
Pass motherfucking, lock them in the motherfucking Capitol, pass motherfucking budget. Or fucking make them fight it out. I don't give a shit. You sit there.
Dude, a UFC ring up in that mother.
Something.
You ready? You ready? Let's get it on.
Well, I was talking to an old buddy of mine yesterday, and I mean, he's been in politics a long time. And I remember when he used to talk about politics, I had no idea what he was talking about, and I would just nod my head and laugh. But I mean, he's been talking about politics a long time. Right. And he was talking about how, you know, they sent ICE to help out with the TSA agents. And he said that also they were looking at sending the National Guard. And I told him I don't want to see the National Guard at an airport. And he's like, yeah, you know, they'd be able to help. And I said, I understand what you're saying. You know how bad that's going to look?
Yeah, that looks like a military presence in the airport. Yeah. That looks like a third world country.
It looks really bad. And we don't need those type of optics. I'm not saying that they need help. Pass the fucking budget. We don't need to do that type of shit. And maybe that's what they're going to try to push him to do. Right. Now he's an authoritarian figure. He's sending all these these soldiers to the airport, you know, to take over. And, you know, they play this shit. God, that just pisses me off. And they wonder why the Trump administration is losing support. You know, it makes no sense to me. Are we better off than we were with Biden? Yes, I don't think that. I don't think we're worse off than we were with Biden. Are we better off than I think we would have been with Kamala? Yeah, I think we're better off than. Are we where I thought we would be? No, I did not think we was going to be in the war with Iran.
There's a bright light in the sky, and it's called a sun. And then the moon comes out, and give me a hold on. Yeah. Sorry,
but have you seen the Dow?
The Dow. They're all retarded, but dude wanted a drunk lady running this presidency, and then a dude, like I said, I felt bad for Biden. I'm not cracking on him. I felt bad for him. They used that dude. I don't even think it was. I think Biden died. That was some body double.
That's not. I can't say that I'd be 100% against that. You know what I'm saying? There was sometimes it was like,
Obama, Obama had another 4 years in the presidency. That's what it was. I mean, that shit was already coming out that he was pulling strings. That was his 4th year.
What if he's still pulling strings?
9 through 12.
Huh? Well, what if he's still pulling strings?
With Trump?
Somebody's pulling the fucking strings.
Yeah, but we already talked about that. I think it's a family. I think it's an entity.
Well, again, I'm not going to shit on Trump's presidency because I think he's better than what we would have had. I can't say I'm exactly ecstatic about. I had a lot of faith in Trump, and I had a lot of faith in this cabinet. Again, I'm not fucking jumping off the end of the earth because of what's going on. I think he has a chance to turn it around. Something ain't right. Something different now. And there was this
his
guy.
First 4 years.
No. And this guy describes it pretty damn good. I mean, he hits on every fucking little topic that got us to where we at in 1 minute. Watch, check this shit out.
If you paid attention during the 2024 campaign for president and believed in the ideals of America first, but find yourself disappointed with the progress that's been made thus far and what you perceive to be coming next, it's not disappointment, it's disloyalty. And that group no longer wants your support. People say things like, oh, you're not going to get everything that you want. It's not perfect. Well, what about the big things? What about those things? We don't care about that. It's disloyal to notice that. We're going to audit Fort Knox. We're going to stop the endless spending. We're going to do Doge. We're spending more than ever. We're not going to do any new wars. We're not going to waste money and give American blood and treasure over in the Middle East, except for this time. We're going to talk about releasing the Epstein files, then we're going to do everything we can to not release them. We're going to run the largest mass deportation operation in American history, and then a couple things are going to go wrong, and we're going to stop it completely almost. We need to get these illegals out of the country, and now we're going to give them amnesty because they're good people. We're going to focus on affordability, and then later we're going to say that affordability is a Democrat hoax. We're going to get the housing prices down so young people can afford housing, and then we're going to tell you that we want to keep the housing prices up so that the people that own houses don't have their equity destroyed. Marco is Miriam's perfect puppet. That's why I made him the Secretary of State. And Lindsey Graham wants us to spend 100 years in the Middle East and spend money recklessly, and that's why I'm going to take his advice on foreign affairs. Why are you panicking? We completely obliterated their nuclear capability until 8 months later when we didn't. Why are you panicking? It's not a war. We just dropped a couple bombs and we got out of there. No issues were had at all until 8 months later where we're there. It's only going to be there for 4 days, and now it's 4 weeks. And actually, it's maybe September. We're going to end the war in Ukraine on day one, except over a year later, it's still going. We're going to make America healthy again, except for this one case where we're going to spray all these chemicals on everything. Kristi Noem is perfect for this position. She's going to be the best at it. Until a year later, well, she's not now. We're going to completely eradicate the deep state by surrounding us with members of the deep state and appointing them to positions in leading departments. We're going to focus on America First policies, but if a congressman dares to uphold and stick to those policies, well, that person's disloyal and we should kick him out of the party. I just need a warm body to run and take his place. The polls are fake and the mainstream media does nothing but lie. They should be ashamed of themselves, except for CNN this one time that ran a totally believable poll that says 100% of people support me. And if you dare to mention how all of the things that were promised on the campaign trail and all the things that we said we were going to do are not being done, I don't want your support anymore. Until the midterms, of course, where we're finally held to task for all the things that didn't come true. But don't worry, when we lose that, we're going to blame it on you, because you're the reason that everybody is incensed. You're stirring disapproval. You're the one that's breaking apart the party, not us, not what we've been doing. Why are you so dissatisfied and upset that all of the things that we said we were going to do aren't actually being done? Why are you upset about that? Do you want the Democrats to win? No, you know what it is? You were never really a supporter to begin with. All of the social situations, all of the things that you put on the line to come out and support this, none of that stuff matters anymore because you're disloyal. Thanks for the donations and wearing the hat and coming to the campaigns and donating your money and believing and pushing the message and encouraging your friends and family to support it as well. Oh, and by the way, vote for more of it in 28. What do you want, the Democrats to win?
Okay, so maybe 3 minutes, not a minute. But yeah, he covered a lot, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He covered it basically all. And we haven't seen really any. I mean, those came in at first, and then it fizzled out. ICE was doing their thing, and now it's fizzled out.
But it's just like we said last week about, the guy that was cheating and the wife going through his phone. Why the fuck you looking at you? Why you going through my fucking phone? You the bad person for pointing out what he did wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. It don't make no sense. Anyway,
Brian. Last
week we talked about our allies and how they were reluctant, or maybe still are reluctant to help us. And then I seen this video from Jeffrey Sachs, and I've heard him talk about this before, about how our allies aren't a sovereign country. And I'm going to let him explain it to you, boys. Check this shit out.
What happened? Well, the first speaker from Bahrain, the ambassador, said, "We are here to condemn the unprovoked attack on us by Iran." Unprovoked. As Iran shelled the Fifth Fleet Command of the United States in Bahrain, unprovoked, after an Israeli-U.S. aggression. I thought I must not be hearing right. Then came the French ambassador. "We are here to condemn Iran's attack on its neighboring states." Then came the Danish ambassador. "We are here to condemn Iran." Then came the British ambassador. "We are here to condemn Iran." Then came the Greek ambassador. "We are here to condemn Iran." Even George Orwell could not have made this up. This is the day that Iran was attacked. Only 3 countries condemned Israel and the United States for attacking: Russia, China, and I believe it was Somalia sitting in the seat for the African countries. Only 3. I had to think, what is going on here? I'll tell you what's going on. It's very interesting. Everyone that said that has an American military base on their soil. They are not sovereign countries.
So you think they support us, or they think they have to support us? Coincidence?
Yeah.
What do you think about that? I mean, I've never thought of it that way. I mean, like I said, I've heard him say that multiple times, but never like in
Dang,
that
dude,
manner.
the intelligence I get from some of this stuff, I love it.
It's well, it'll make you go crazy. Is what what it'll
Yeah.
do. You don't.
I
You
mean,
don't.
my thought is that we had military bases all over the world so we could get to places as needed and quickly and have the support and you know what I'm saying, the facilities and all that. Because you can't just build up a big army here in America and then you know how long it would take to move it somewhere. I
But
mean,
why
it'd
do
take
we
a
have?
long time
But why either?
if we had to. Brian, is what I'm
No,
saying.
no, I understand that, but why would
But
we have
when I
to
was
be there?
when I was 18 years old in the Marine Corps, I didn't care why we had to be there. I
I
just knew
agree
we
with
had
you.
to.
I'm just saying
That's
now.
what
I
I'm
mean,
saying. So
yeah, why?
yeah, we don't have to be there no more. We shouldn't be involved in all this stuff. Think about it. Iran was just minding their own business.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that they. Again, I'm not going to say that they all innocent. By no means. But yeah, they were my business per se. They were. It might have even played out better thinking about it. I mean, they had the protests going, right?
Mhm.
Again, I think we were running cover
Did
revolutions
we
over
not
there.
protest here?
Yeah, no, but I mean, they were fucking really They were getting like tens of thousands of people shot. They were hardcore protesting, and they were protesting their government, not
Yes.
not just ICE or something like that. They were going. What I'm getting at is if we would have kept feeding just the protest, the people might have, taken over. But like we said
Right.
last week, if you go blow their country up, that kind of defeats the people. The people
That
ain't gonna keep wanting to fight.
destabilizes everything.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, I'm glad you said that because that makes it a lot easier than what I was thinking. Yeah, it destabilizes it, and now you have some people that were protesting their country are gonna fight for their country. It's their home.
They're
You
like,
know?
whoa, hold up, man. Yeah, like, why are you dropping bombs on our area, man? Can you not just, like,
Yeah,
if we want the Ayatollah out of here, can you not just send a elite group in to take him out?
Yeah.
Why you gotta be dropping bombs and killing people?
Yeah,
Like,
why you couldn't pull a Venezuela? Which I don't think
yeah.
it'd have been as easy to pull a Venezuela on them, but I mean,
Yeah.
well, no, I don't even know if that because they killed
Where's
all their
daddy couldn't
leaders.
get him?
Well, they killed all their leaders, and I mean, so if they killed all the leaders, who the fuck's leading it? They killed the second leader. I don't know. I mean, I guess they're not going to say because they don't want to
Okay.
die either.
Why did
I get that.
why did multiple tomahawks have to hit a school full of kids?
I don't know.
You see what I'm saying?
Why is there so? Why are they don't have good coverage of this war? We had better coverage of the Ukraine war before people started just like splattering everywhere. Not to be mean, but I mean, at the beginning of the Ukraine war, they were everywhere until it really got intense. We haven't
Right.
seen anything. I mean, I can understand that Iran, is locked down the internet and all that other stuff. What are we seeing from Israel? I mean, is Israel still standing? Are we seeing? I read it earlier that is just very hard to get information out of Israel. Now you can
Well,
see the shit that they do in Lebanon.
what about Iraq? There was news
Yeah.
coverage over there. There was reporters embedded with the military units.
Yeah. Why we don't? I don't know.
And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't agree with that much, man, because
I don't agree with it either, but no. Whenever they were there and the SEAL team came up on the fucking beach,
and they
CNN,
the reporters were already there, like capturing
Yeah.
them come up. I mean, it took the secrecy right out of that mission.
yeah, that
And
was
you're
just
getting people
ridiculous.
killed. You're going to get people killed doing that.
Yeah, I
just
agree
for
with
a
you. I
story.
agree that
Yeah.
that's ridiculous.
Yes,
Having said that, we
you're
don't
not
see
seeing
anything.
shit here.
No, it's weird, really weird, and people
It's
noticing
almost
that.
like that. There's control of the media.
Nah, they wouldn't do that.
Oh.
So, did you see Iran taunting the U.S.?
No, I haven't seen. Well, no, you showed a video.
Which one?
No. I seen one on TikTok of where a missile is launched
Oh yeah, we're gonna go in that one in detail.
and it hits the everybody's cheering it.
No,
All
they're
these
not
countries
cheering it.
that they're
Nope.
not. Everybody's looking at it that we've messed with, and it's
No.
passing over them, and then it hits the Statue of Liberty.
Yep. with the bullhead with ball on it.
Yes.
And I'm gonna go over, how it's depicted a little bit later. But I don't know if you've seen this today that Cash Patel had his personal emails hacked.
No, I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was from 2012 to 2019.
Was it nasty?
I don't know. I haven't seen any of them.
Okay.
Now, and I mean, now we're gonna sit and wait and see what the fuck comes out. I'm sure they got some dumb shit. He was a civilian. I'm assuming. Yeah, there could be a bunch of that back then. But they got to get something in there.
Sorry, I got to.
They got to be looking for something to embarrass him. Because they went after his personal shit. Unless they were looking for something specific. I don't know. I mean, he might have been a weird cat. He might still be a weird cat.
He might be.
I don't know. And I don't know. But they're saying that it's either Iran or one of their proxies, that actually went ahead and hacked his email. So I'm assuming in the probably next week, we'll probably start seeing some of his emails if we don't start seeing them this weekend. So keep your eye out for that.
Mm-hmm.
And last week or the week before last, I played one of the Mockingbird, right wing Mockingbird media things. And what was it?
Sorry, Dumb and Dumber.
Shit. Yeah, what was it though? What do we say? A small sacrifice for a big gain for a long sacrifice, or some dumb shit like that. They kept repeating. I don't remember. Long term,
yeah, all the media
short term pain for a long term gain. That's what they kept saying, right?
Yeah. It was like everybody was trained to say that. Like you had all kinds of media people saying that.
Well, now it's you just got to sacrifice. That's all you got to do. You just got to sacrifice. Let's check this shit out.
As far as the oil prices, people just need to stop panicking. It's worth it to prevent Iran from having a nuclear weapon. So if I have to pay a little bit more for gas, I'll do that.
You got to pay the price. I mean, in order to have long-term stability.
The disruptions in the global markets are real and may be painful. But the long-term benefits, again, are incalculable.
There may be some sacrifices to be made at the pump on a temporary basis. I'm willing to pay 30% or 30 cents more at the pump to make sure that Iran does not have a nuclear weapon.
To win in life, you got to suffer short-term pain for the long-term gain, or short-term pain for long-term gain.
Freedom is not free. Americans are going to have to make some sacrifices.
This is short-term, and I'm asking you to just trust the man, okay? Trust the system. Let him cook.
Let him cook? He's not a point guard on a heater. He's a 79-year-old man.
Let him cook. Just let him cook.
This war is so great and is supported. They got so much support behind it. They got to keep fucking running this dick sucking slogans to make us all.
Brian,
they're
just
trying
be
to program
patient.
us.
Be patient.
Man.
Short-term pain is long-term gain. Now,
that's right.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt that says that.
You have to sacrifice now to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon. It's only you that can prevent forest fires.
Yes. Brought to you by Smokey the Bear.
I mean, fuck, man. They gotta.
Brought to you by Rahab Jihab.
It's your fault that the gas prices went up and you have to sacrifice.
Yes.
It's sad that you're so comfortable in life that you're not willing to sacrifice money to go over there and take away that nuclear weapon. Do you know how well that you're protecting the world?
You know what I heard? It's not always that we got an issue, right? With oil and all that. Like we can get our own, but they said that committee or whatever. Who is it that
OPEC?
That controls the price of oil. Why do we got to abide by that? That's the question I'm asking.
Well, because they can flood the fucking market if you don't play fair with them, and this is just from me understanding this from living in the area I live in, and I don't know a whole lot about OPEC, and as somebody that's in I work in the oil industry, but I'm the fucking grunt in the oil industry.
Yeah.
I don't know nothing
You're
about
not the money
fucking
man.
money. No.
Yeah.
Having said that, I know that they can produce, they can pump out a bunch of oil and really drop the oil prices if they want to. So, and there's certain times that you have to work together in order to make the money work out. So this might be just one of the times that you just have to negotiate it, is what I'm guessing. But yes, that's the reason why they're able to do it, because the production that they have. they're able to flood the market, and they can restrict the market. They can control the market basically off all the fucking oil they control.
Okay, but I'm still not understanding why the price is going up at our pump because we're messing with Iran.
Because it's off of a world sale. It's not off of what it's worth here. The oil is traded on a world petrodollar. Okay,
Yeah.
so when it goes up, it's the whole thing. Now, if you're not buying if you buy any illegal oil, like with Russia or their unsanctioned oil or the sanctioned oil, then it won't be traded in a petrodollar because you can't buy it. That's because it's sanctioned, so they can't
Okay.
sell it.
Yeah, but Russia's just using it for their own purpose.
Yeah, but they're not part of SWIFT. They're not with the petrodollar system.
See,
That's
to
what I'm
me,
getting at.
then we ought to just get away from that. We ought to do our own damn thing.
If we get rid of the petrodollar, our dollar don't mean nothing. The petrodollar, the oil is the only thing that's keeping our dollar valuable, dude.
Oh, okay.
We don't have the gold standard anymore, right? And what do we produce in this country? What do we really make? We
A little
have
bit of-
oil,
Yeah.
and we know we make steel and all, but we don't have anything that
Coal.
when we went through all the numbers weeks ago, months ago, we were a high in the consumer market. That's what
Right.
we do. We buy shit. We have intelligence, and we don't get me wrong, we make shit, but we don't make shit in such a scale in the United States that we can say that's our market.
Right. It still bothers me.
Oh, it bothers the fuck out of me. I agree
I
with
mean,
you.
I
I'm
don't
not-
understand. Every time if there's a little hint of there's a problem with us in another country, whoop, there goes the gas price up. It's like,
Now, I think that's a ploy. I'm not going to say that that's all in the up and up.
well,
And it used to be if the oil went up, you actually can make more money in this industry, but they got they're so good at finding the oil and everything now. I mean, their production is higher. They know how to control. Let's just put it that way. They know how to
Yeah.
fucking control the market.
oh,
and
I know.
and then so many of them combined together, it's less people bidding for the same oil.
Right.
So they can all work together. They're not technically a monopoly, but you can't make me believe that they don't fucking pass numbers by each other to see where they're going to keep the oil price. I mean, it's evident.
Right.
We talked earlier, I was saying how people hide behind the military to get what they want, especially in a war like this. And this next video I'm going to show you, I mean, just like we talked about the people at TPUSA and some mega churches hide behind religion as the cloak, and they denounce you, if you question their shady ways. Just like we were saying earlier, if you see your priest doing something shady and you call him out on it, it's your fault because you noticed it. It's not his fault because he was doing it. And now, if the politicians, they want to hide behind the love that you and support that you have for the military. So anytime you don't want to support the war, they want to act like you don't like the military. And this is a video pretty much telling me how much of a piece of shit I am for not supporting the war because I hate the military. So what?
MAGA polled in the first week of this bombing campaign 94% positive to only 6% negative. Now fast forward a little over a week from that fell to 78% support with 10% opposing. That's a 15% drop in a week. During this same time, this is why I question those people who flipped on this, during that same time, America was reporting massive enemy casualties, mission success, and approval still went down 15%. You know how that makes a soldier feel? Forget about politics here for a second. This shows how quickly people can change their mind for political convenience, because now today, as of today, only 63% of Republicans approve of this campaign on Iran. Think about that. We're winning massive technical and tactical victories, and people are losing. So when in the history of ever have we had negative polling from winning? This is mostly driven by the media, by the way. That's why people feel this way, because they're worried about being on the wrong side of this. I'm not trying to lecture anyone here, but I'm just telling you how I see this from a soldier's point of view. And then you can figure out if this affects how you take your point of view. This is a pretty emotional subject for me. From a warfighter seat, like this kind of stings. I realize a lot of people who disapprove this will also say, oh, I support the troops, but not the cause. Well, and I'm going to be pretty blunt here, that may make you feel better, but for most soldiers, we see that as kind of a slap in the face. I personally take that as like, hey, you died for nothing, but we'll wave a flag at your funeral. Look, just being honest here, folks.
He's just being honest there, folks.
Yeah, he's full of shit.
I don't know how many people support that, what he just said, but I mean,
you could fully support military people and not support a war and not agree with the war.
Not in this country. You got to have binary choice.
Yeah, whatever.
Binary.
Whatever the hell. Whatever the hell.
I agree with you, dude.
We never felt that in the military. I didn't feel that overnight. People, I would come home and people would be like, do you think you needed to go over there? Did you support that? I said, it wasn't whether I supported it or not. I took an oath and I have a job to do and I was told to go do a job.
Yeah, but here's a question I'd like to ask you. But even saying that, I think they get the civilian, to where they know they support the troops, but they want to get them to back the war. So they tell them, if you don't support the troops, if you don't support the war, you're not supporting the troops. So it's supposed to make you feel bad, blah, blah, blah. Basically they're calling you a racist.
Right.
Now, when you overseas and you there and you know, even if you know that you there for something bullshit, but you still signed the dotted line.
Right.
You still want to be there for the guy next to you.
Yeah.
And the government knows that. And I think they play that also against you.
Yes. They create a brotherhood and a family, and that's what we're there for. Because if I don't go and something happens to my buddy, I got to live with that.
Yep. And it's not a bad thing to have. That's not a bad, to have a brotherhood like that. But I really believe they play that against you. They know that, you're going to
look at me and you. How long did we go without talking?
Probably 20 years.
Okay. And then when we did talk the first night, when I got your phone number and called you, we talked for about 3-4 hours like we never missed a beat.
So like never missed a beat.
Because we're true brothers.
Yeah, and I believe that. And we was able to get something like that. And I think that's the beautiful thing. Don't get me wrong. That's the beautiful thing in the military and especially the Marine Corps.
Yep.
But I really believe that these people don't give a fuck about you. We talk about that all the time, and they have no problem using that same love that you have for your brother against you to make sure that you're going to fight as hard as you fucking can. And that is sick.
Yeah, it is. But we're alive, and I cherish our friendship. So I'm glad. It's a sick way that they brought us together, but you know what? It worked out at the end for us. So
the brotherhood part's not the sick part to me.
They play that though.
Yeah,
they play us to get stuff done.
Yep, they play that against you. I don't want anyone to take to understand that wrong. I mean, the brotherhood thing is beautiful. If you've never experienced that, you have no idea the love that you can have for another guy. Just because of the shit you've been through.
Right.
And that's a great thing. But them using that against you to keep you fighting in something that you don't want to be in.
Right.
That is a fucked up thing to do.
Right.
All right. So we got that, and we're still going through Iran, taunting us, and we haven't got there yet. The reason I put those two things in there is because the war itself is so good that they got to toy with our emotions. They got to, tell us that we got to sacrifice. We're all in this. Just how was it for COVID? We're all in this together. We're all in this,
together.
All in
that. Yeah, but that wasn't Trump. That was who was
no, I'm
that?
talking about the government, period.
Yeah.
I'm just talking about the government. I'm not, this is not this government, that government. When I'm
that
talking
was Andy
about right now.
saying every day on the COVID report was, we're all in this together.
We were talking about COVID yesterday, and I was going over something, and I had another epiphany, and I didn't want to bring it up tonight, but I was telling Jennifer, I said, do you seen what I did when COVID first started? The first thing I did is started researching how many people got vaccines, early on, how many people got tests, how many people died, how many people were sick, how many people were recovering. And I had spreadsheets on this shit. You can ask Jennifer. I was tracking it every day. And every time I would see something on TV, I'm like, they lying. The numbers don't add up.
Right.
And she's like, oh, you just got these numbers. I said, they give you all the test numbers. They give you, then I found this one link called, website called like World Count or something.
Right.
And they were putting the whole world shit on there.
Damn.
So I started doing the whole world every fucking day, just to see where the highest spikes were and how these people were living. And when you added it all together, it didn't make sense. None of it made sense from the rip. And it was
Right.
always less than 1%. And I think the highest, and I still got the spreadsheet actually, I think the highest might have been like at a 0.4% of the people that actually tested positive were dying.
Right.
And it just started sitting bad with me quick. And I couldn't fathom that they were going on television, and I know they had different information than I had. So at first it was like, okay, we're gonna do this 14 day to slow the spread. Fuck it, I'll take 14 days off. But then, like we talked about before, they make you essential. Like, man, fuck this. If we ain't gonna get 14 days off, I ain't wearing no fucking mask to go anywhere. I'm done with this shit. If you give me 14 days off, we all go sit at home, we try to make this shit go away. Okay, I'll go with that. But if we ain't all shutting the fuck down, if they making us still go to work, man, fuck this.
Yeah. It ain't as bad as you're acting.
No, it was awful. But yeah, it was just the numbers. And now social media is so big, it grew so much since just 2020 itself, it was big then too. I mean, because you started seeing a lot of things.
Right.
But the amount of people that's getting out and actually speaking now, the people that are waking up is unbelievable. And so the shit you're seeing got to be scaring the fuck out of these damn, these elites. Because again, they got money, they have power, but they all know that if we eventually all just say, you know what, they've been fucking us. Let's just all go meet down in the corner and talk about this shit and figure this shit out. They'd have to kill us all, And I'm not going to say they're against that, but that's what they would have to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I want you to check out this fucking shady shit. We talk about insider trading all the time, but I don't know if you've seen this shit that just recently happened on with oil. And then I had to go check this out because when I first seen this video, I'm like, man, this ain't real. But unfortunately, let's check this shit out.
It looks like, according to the Financial Times, that over $580 million worth of oil contracts, 6,200 contracts in total, changed hands between 6:49 a.m. and 6:50 a.m. yesterday. Okay? 15 minutes or so before Donald Trump announced on social media that he might be trying to strike a deal with Iran. So who in the middle of the morning decided they were going to transact 6,200 contracts related to oil at a total contract price notional value of $580 million 15 minutes before Trump announces he's made or about to make a deal? And if that's not suspicious enough for you, CNBC reports that in the S&P futures, which has to do with the stock market, there was also an aberrational run-up almost in that exact same time period. So somebody bet on the stock market and on the oil market, stock market to go up, oil market to go down 10 minutes before Donald Trump picked up the phone and called into CNBC and had an interview and posted on social media at 7:05 a.m. that we might be striking a deal. Here's Donald Trump phoning into CNBC at or about the time that this person or people, a team perhaps, is cooking the books on the market and front-running information. In other words, they know the information, but we don't, and they're trading on it.
They wouldn't do that, would they?
Mm-mm.
Yes. So I'd look in and based off
That's
of
too shady, Brian. They don't do that.
They wouldn't do that.
God.
When I seen it, I was like, okay, I got to check into this. So I went to multiple sites, and then I went to 3 different AI platforms. And the consensus was, yes, they were highly unusual spikes in oil and stock future trading, totaling hundreds of million to over $1 billion in a notional value. Minutes before Donald Trump's public Truth Social post on March 23rd, 2026, about productive conversations with Iran and a 5-day pause on threatened strikes against Iranian energy infrastructure and power plants. So they were just extremely timely, lucky.
Didn't we receive a gift from Iran?
I don't know, a bomb?
No. The 8 tankers full of oil? 8 ships full of oil that are coming to the United States?
We unsanctioned some oil from Iran?
No, Iran sent through the Hamas Strait
Oh, I
or
didn't know that.
Hormuz or whatever you want to call it, Hormuz Strait. Yeah, you didn't hear Trump. It was, I think it was yesterday I seen it, or the day before on TikTok. He had reporters in there and told them that he received a gift and he would release what the gift was. The next day, he had them all in there telling them it's 8 full tanker ships full of oil are coming to the United States from Iran. They're already giving us gifts.
I don't know. I'd be cautious with that gift. That might be like herpes.
Might have
That
a
might be
dirty
the
bomb
gift
in
that
there.
keeps
Yeah.
on giving.
Yeah. That's some of that bad oil.
Got some of that bad blood, like the Kadashi experiment with syphilis.
Yeah. Yeah, or us giving the blankets to the Indians with smallpox on it.
Yeah, we never done anything bad. Like, why would you even bring up shit like that? I mean, that is just So we got that going on, and I mean, these people, even in war, they're going to do everything they can to get every fucking dollar. And it is sick the way the dollar is pushed around, and we're the bad ones for noticing it. God forbid you notice that, Jason. You're such a bad person.
You're a shit stirrer, Brian.
You're a shit stir. Why? Because I noticed that you're an asshole. I'm not always an asshole, though. I mean, you bring it out in me. So it's your fault.
Yeah, it's your fault.
Man. All right. And then before we get into the real funny ones, I got a couple more I want to show you. There was a 15-part peace plan, I think, that we suggested to Iran. And this next cut is Iran explaining why they reject the peace plan. Check this out.
So Iran has rejected Donald Trump's 15-point peace plan. It's not surprising because from the Iranian point of view, it reads more like a surrender document than the opening of a negotiation. They've countered with some ridicule about America being defeated and also with a list of demands of their own, which frankly, the other side, the Americans and the Israelis, will find equally unacceptable. Now, it could be the beginning of a negotiation, or if there's no deal, there might be an escalation. American ground troops are on their way to the Gulf. Perhaps they'll be used to seize some Iranian territory to try and put some more pressure on the regime. That is actually a risky thing for the Americans to do. I think the Iranians would have a plan. And also they want to pull the Americans into a longer, more attritional war. And that's something, of course, that from the American perspective, will raise memories of Iraq in 2003 and the years following that. The Israeli perspective is a little bit different. What they want to do is inflict a generational level of damage on the Islamic Republic, their most bitter enemy, and they're quite happy to keep on doing this.
I wouldn't think Bibi wants to flatten Iran. I think Bibi, he just wants to, just teach them a lesson, tell them to back off a little bit. They've been a little bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys, I don't know. Every now and then, I didn't listen to a lot of news this week because I was busy, and I listened to some of it. And it seems like when I do put the news on, I hear Trump saying that the talks are going great with Iran. We're destroying Iran. And now you're saying they're sending 8 ships of oil. So it might be. Negotiations might be going good. But then I hear, Iran rejects the peace plan. And so I don't know what the fuck. I don't know what to believe anyway. It's you have to peel back too many fucking layers to actually find the truth. And I guess that's what's so great about watching Candace, because I actually feel like somebody's actually telling me the truth.
Yeah, no kidding.
It's just refreshing,
Right.
This next cut's from this guy I follow called Beauty Mark. He's on TikTok. It's about an oil crisis. This is another one. I watched this video and I was like, there's no way this is true. So I went ahead and researched it. And the numbers are all there.
Dominoes are falling in days, not weeks. Here's the global oil crisis, country by country, as of today, which is Thursday, March 26th. Made some notes so everybody can easily understand. We'll start with Sri Lanka, right? Rationing, 4-day work week, schools closed. Pakistan, crisis, overnight price surge, long queues, 4-day work week. India, 9 days of reserves left, emergency suppliers being hunted. South Korea, 50 days left, clock tick. Japan, lied, said 254 days, actual usable reserves, 95. UK, Shell CEO warning shortage starts in April. Germany, gas up 30%, EU emergency plan locked. France, paying 30% more at pumps than 8 weeks ago. South Africa, government says stable, citizens photograph empty pump. Turkey, stocks crash, inflation exploding, currency under pressure. Brazil, watching nervously. Own oil helps, yes, but supply chains hurt. Australia, tanker delays, import dependent, hoping IEA coordination holds. USA, gas prices suspended in states, SPR drawing down, Iran sanctions quietly pop. China, 1.4 billion barrels stockpile, ban exports, still getting Iranian oil. This is day 26 of the Hormuz blockade. 20% of global oil. God. Do you know who wins at the end of all this? I just want you to look right above my head, okay? People are clearly unaware of how strategic warfare works. How else do you think that you bring a superpower to its knees? If you eliminate the dollar, you eliminate the threat.
How you eliminate the dollar? Well, now you know, through the petrodollar.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what our fucking money's propped up on.
Right.
And he did say that they relieved the sanctions on Iran. So I guess that's what you was talking about with the 8 tankers of oil, is because of the sanctions were lifted for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Again, what's real?
I don't know.
I look into it, and all that looks real. But what I looked into, is that real, or does the next one have to be real? This whole fucking thing is just shady. We have the most surveillance in our lifetime, and we have the least amount of information of any war in our lifetime at our fingertips from our own country. Think about that. That makes no fucking sense, does it? All right. So now we're going to get into Iran taunting us with the AI generated videos. So you've, I don't know if I've ever seen this from another country directly towards us. I've seen videos where they like make fun of, Trump, or they make fun of, Biden or something. I've seen videos like that. But I don't know if I've ever seen it to where they took it to this extreme, and they constantly just, I don't know. Some of this stuff is the one with the ball and the Statue of Liberty. That one fucked me up, because that one was pretty fucking powerful. And I'm going to read the descriptions on all that. But the other one was fucking, it was kind of funny. The Lego Trump one. So we go watch both of them. But the first one, when you really understand it, it's dark. And they call it the Ball Statue of Liberty video.
Mm-hmm.
And so it opens with a Native American elder. All right. Because we took their land.
Right.
The Hiroshima aftermath.
Mm-hmm.
Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
Gaza, Yemen, and Afghanistan, Palestine, all suffering. And then they show the little girl from Epstein Island, little blonde haired girl from Epstein Island. And then they show the the Iranian leaders? No, I think they actually showed the little girl. It was a representation of the Iranian little girl school that got blown up. They showed them looking up. And then the moral witnesses, the Iranian leaders. And then it shows Iran's bomb missile. And it destroys what it was, the Statue of Liberty with Baal as a head. If y'all remember from last week, Baal was a false idol, a false god that they worship. It was a bad god, basically. There was sacrifices and shit to this god. And then it goes down into the water, and it says "one vengeance for all" is what this text says. So I just wanted to give y'all a little background on the video in case you haven't seen it. That way, when you watch it, it makes a little more sense to you. But it's pretty damn powerful. And if you're listening on the radio, I mean, you're just gonna hear the video play. But that's basically what it's doing.
Well, breaking fuck the news. This is a video that is apparently going around Iran. Now, I did get this from Twitter, and it's 100% an AI video. But apparently, this was shown on media in Iran. My jaw hit the ground when it got to the middle, and you'll see why.
Yeah, that little video right there to me, it has a lot of power. I don't like it. I don't I
Mm-mm.
don't like it at all. I don't like the way it portrays anything. Not to say that what they did was a bad thing. It
Right.
just makes me feel fucking awful. It does.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure that's the intent. But
Right.
when I first seen it, I was like, wow. I mean, that's what I think. That's what these people think of us.
Right.
You know, that we're just murderers and we
Yeah.
just worship a false idol.
Mhm.
We're corrupted.
Right.
We probably are whenever you look at us from another fucking, sense of the world.
Yeah.
So they made that one. And then they did one in the Lego format, basically just mocking this. So it's the breakdown of it says, they got the Lego bricks themselves invoke innocence like toys and child's play, reducing Trump and Netanyahu and the war to a child's game. So this mocks the seriousness of the U.S. Israeli leadership as immature, reckless play acting with real lives. All right. So the opening scene, Trump, Netanyahu, and Satan with the Jeffrey Epstein file. But Lego Trump is sweating. He's angry. Netanyahu's hunched over a folder labeled Jeffrey Epstein file, flanked by a grinning red devil holding a goblet in a dimly lit, hellish setting with skulls and alcohol. And the symbolism in here is they got Satan as the third figure, explicitly cast the U.S. and Israel as a demonic allies in the orchestrating chaos. Classic Iranian revolutionary rhetoric, America, great Satan and Zionist, little Satanist. Epstein file, the war is portrayed as deliberate distraction cover up for the elite Western pedophile and corruption scandals plaguing Trump's circle. It implies leaders are motivated by personal depravity, not strategy, trolling U.S. domestic politics while undermining moral authority. The sweating Trump signals panic, guilt, and weakness from the start. And then there's a red button in the school missile strike. Key visuals, Trump furiously slams a giant red button. American flag missile streaks towards a girl's school. Cut to rubble, only a child's pink backpack and shoes remain. Symbolism. So the red button, nuclear war decision, portrays Trump as impulsive and trigger happy. The girls' school is the school that, they hit in day one of the strike, killed 165 civilians, mostly children. It emphasizes the U.S. war crimes against innocents, stripping any justification. The pink remnants humanize victims while dehumanizing attackers. And the transition to Iranian soldier, grief, weeping over backpack, righteous rage. This is the emotional pivot. Personal loss justifies total retaliation. The soldier later holds the backpack like a talisman beside a missile launcher, symbolizing every victim fuels victory. All right. So let's check out the Lego Trump. Now, that's the first time I read that explanation in depth, honestly. I watched the video just to check it out, and I didn't have it. And then I pulled the descriptions down the way I can go over them tonight. But I didn't realize they had that much shit in that one. The other one I read through real quick, but I figured this one that wasn't that deep. But that's pretty damn deep.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's check this out.
Breaking fuck the news. Here's another video that apparently Iran media has posted. It's a Lego animation of fucking Donald Trump. What the fuck is going on?
Yeah. You crossed the ocean just to find your gravity. Sacrificed your own borders for a lie. Listen. Yeah. Yeah. Make America great again. Yo, Tails, this shit crazy. Yeah. Make America great again now. You will see what happens, yeah. Watch this. Sacred defense, we protecting the soil. While you sacrifice soldiers to pay for your spoil. You thought you ran the globe, sitting on your throne. Now we turning every base into a bed of stone. It's a slaughterhouse, a trap you couldn't see. Welcome to the graveyard of your vanity. The secrets are leaking. The pressure is rising. We locked on the target.
Well, I didn't have the whole video, but yeah, they got pretty ingenious with that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it says in short, it's a sophisticated, low budget information warfare. And I think we send tweets or what you call it. What does he have? Truth Social post.
Yeah.
I don't recall any other country just trolling us like that. You?
No.
It's
I
like
mean, Iraq didn't. Any bird before, it's like now they're doing it.
and then I read this article about this Iranian soldiers that was torturing this guy's kid to get him to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, that ain't right. That ain't real. So I started researching that. And first, I found multiple areas where different countries have actually done this with beatings, electric shocks, cigarette burns, sexual violence. And it was done to pressure parents suspected of supporting opposition groups to surrender or confess. And this includes Syria, Iraq, Myanmar, and other conflicts like in Sri Lanka and Algeria. But this one was recently in the Israeli-Palestinian context in March of 2026, just this month. During ongoing fighting in Gaza, a highly disputed allegation emerged involving approximately an 18-month-old Palestinian toddler. According to the Palestinian media, family testimony, and outlets like Al Jazeera, the child was allegedly tortured, burned, and puncture wounds in the front of his father to pressure the father into providing information or confessing. These are our chosen people. Let's check this out.
UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese has warned the world has given Israel license to torture Palestinians in the occupied territories. In her latest report to the UN Human Rights Council, Albanese said torture has effectively become a state policy in Israel.
I've documented how the use of psychological and physical torture by Israel against Palestinians is not exceptional. It is not merely punitive. It is strategic, it is deliberate, and it is integral to Israel's genocide of the Palestinians. In the past 2 years, more than 18,500 Palestinians have been arrested, including 1,500 children.
The family of a Palestinian child in central Gaza accuses Israeli soldiers of torturing the boy to get information about his father. The boy, named Jawad Abu Nasser, was detained alongside his father, who suffers from mental health issues near Israel's so-called Yellow Line. Al Jazeera's Tariq Abu Azoum has their story from Deir al-Balah.
Jawad is a 2-year-old from Gaza. Doctors believe these burns have been caused by cigarettes and the wounds on his legs from a sharp object. Jawad was reunited with his family in Al-Maghazi refugee camp. Hours after witnesses say he and his father were detained by Israeli forces. His family says there was blood on his clothes.
When we first received him, we noticed blood on his pants. His mother examined his body and saw wounds. At first, we thought it might be from shrapnel, but when we got him to the hospital, doctors confirmed these are clear signs of abuse caused by cigarettes and a sharp object. The wound on his leg has both an entrance and an exit, and now you can see his condition.
On March 20th, Jawad was with his father, Osama Abu Nassar, in Al-Maghazi. Witnesses say they were detained shortly after approaching Israel's so-called Yellow Demarcation Line.
This is the area where Osama Abu Nassar was last seen carrying his son. Israeli forces are deployed here. We rushed to reach him, but came under fire from tanks. He was detained by Israeli troops behind that hill with his child, while ground forces fired at us to push us back.
For hours, his family had no information about their whereabouts. 10 hours later, a call came from the Red Cross asking the family to collect the child. Jawad was returned alone. He was taken to Al-Aqsa Hospital where medical teams documented signs of abuse. Osama Abu Nassar is now in Israeli detention. Jawad remains another child in Gaza growing up in a reality where brutality arrives early and leaves a lasting impact. This is the medical report for Jawad. Doctors documented injuries around both knees, consistent with cigarette burns. The report also classifies this as a case of child abuse by unknown individuals. For families in Gaza, even the youngest are not shielded from Israeli army brutality. And this case highlights the urgent risks Gaza children face every day. طارق أبو عزوم, Al Jazeera, Deir al-Balah, Palestine.
Now, how easy would it be to convince that kid to become a terrorist against Israel?
They're provoking people to do that.
That's what yeah.
That kid's not going to grow older and be like, yeah, I forgave him.
Yeah.
I found
No.
forgiveness. No, he's going to have a hatred.
And rightfully so.
Yeah.
I don't promote hating anyone, but if you're going to hate someone, that's one hell of a reason to hate them.
Mm-hmm.
Now, in defense of the IDF, they strongly denied the torture claim. They stated that the father, suspected of being Hamas operative, was using the child as a human shield. And the child sustained minor injuries from warning shots or shrapnel, received medical treatment, and was handed over to the Red Cross. No intentional abuse occurred, according to the IDF. Nothing to see here.
Nope. Didn't happen.
Didn't happen. You believe that?
Come on, dude.
So you never know. You got to ask those questions. All right. So this week, that was our taunting of the Iran and our shit in Israel and all. And I was going to get a little deeper into the Old Testament and all this week. I didn't want to go that dark, but I want to share a little light on where we're going with some of this. And so this week we're gonna get a glimpse into Nimrod and Gilgamesh, and I'm just gonna give you a little highlight, and I'm gonna show you a video just so you understand where we're going. So Nimrod was a mighty hunter, as written in the Bible, but it's also mentioned that the translation from Hebrew to English may be a little off, as the Bible talks about Nimrod as a mighty hunter before the Lord. Some translate this meaning as not admiration towards the Lord, but against the Lord. Nimrod is the ultimate rebel. His name actually means rebellion. He promoted unity without God. He wanted globalism without Christ, which opens the door to chaos, idolatry, and even prefigures of the spirit of the Antichrist. This rebellion culminated in the Tower of Babel project. Instead of obeying God's command to fill the earth, Nimrod gathered people in one place to build a tower to the heavens for their own glory and security, essentially trying to make a name for themselves and defy the divine judgment like another flood. All right. Now, Nimrod and Gilgamesh, they're kind of interchangeable when you read it. So that's why I put them together. In the video I'm going to show you, it's from an old episode of Candace when she's talking about Gilgamesh. And there's a lot of stories that go in it. When I was researching Babylon, excuse me, and they're going to talk about this in here, so I just want to explain to you. It was during the Iraq War. I seen where I did the history of Babylon, and it was showing how Babylon went down and how it came back and all. Well, anyway, Saddam Hussein decided he was going to reconstruct Babylon, but he didn't want to reconstruct it back to its historical setting. He wanted to reconstruct it to where he had his own palace. He was his own god, basically, from what I gathered. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But whenever the Iraq War came out, our military base in Iraq, they took over Babylon. And I watched videos of just how our military you can't, I don't know if they were Marine or Army, but you can't put fucking Marines anywhere. I mean, they just fucking tear everything up. It doesn't matter how fucking old it was. Seriously. I mean, it don't matter how old it was. But they tear that place, they tear it up. And why they were exactly there is the question. Now, before I dug into this, I want to take another step back. I've watched two, what do you call those people that look, geographers?
Mm-hmm.
I watched two geographers map out this land with looked like PVC pipe. You remember how you would watch on television and you'd have the guy who would have like the metal and he would hold the metal in his hand, and when it turned, that's where the water was at or something.
Yeah,
It was
that's
some
called
bullshit.
witching
Okay.
water. Yeah.
Well, that's what it kind of looked like with this, but it was
Hey.
like PVC pipe.
Hey, can I tell a quick story on that? My
Yeah.
neighbor, God rest his soul, he ended up passing away a while back. But anyways, he worked for the water department at the time, and I needed to run a new water line from the main to my house. I was PEXing my whole house, and I was going to go ahead and PEX from underneath the house, or my main line going underneath the house out to the water main. And so he came over there. There was no tracer wire to put a locator. So when you got PVC, you can't locate PVC. It has to be metal. So what they're supposed to do is they're supposed to run a ground wire, like a coated ground wire, with that pipe, and it's supposed to stub up at the water main and then at the other end that it connects to. And that way you can put a locator on it and locate it for digging and all that. Well, they didn't do this in my neighborhood. So he's out there with these two things, and when they start pulling together, but it doesn't always work because he was way off. he was acting. It's what they say. Some people have the ability to do this. It's not a proven method. It's dependent on the person having the gift of witching water. Like they can locate water sources for wells and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't know it actually had a name. I just remember seeing it like whenever they were like on a desert island or something, they'll have two pieces of they find their water.
Yeah.
Well, that's what these guys were doing. They were mapping this area, and and they thought that they found the tomb of Gilgamesh.
Right.
And when I say mapping again, it was almost like they had PVC pipes. They would just walk, and it was like it looked like it had to be a slow fucking process because this was a big ass area, and they were doing it manually. It wasn't like they had this mega equipment. And then they found this stuff, and then they told they had to pack up all this shit and leave. And next thing you know, we started the war with Iraq. But we're gonna go into this a little deeper. But I wanted to give y'all a glimpse into this. This is Candace talking about it. Check this out.
2003, the body of Gilgamesh was found in the desert of Iraq. And I heard a recent interview with Tom Horn and Steve Quayle talking on Omega Man Radio. I'm just going to play a snippet of their radio show. This is what they had to say about this find.
Imagine the startling proposition that the Nephilim, the giants, the mighty men of old, the gods and children of the Watchers, could somehow rise up, could somehow be reconstituted inside of a body. And, of course, I've discussed with you before my theory that one of the greatest legends in history could be a record of that having actually happened. And I'm referring to Nimrod, who some scholars also identify as Gilgamesh of Sumerian fame, Apollo of Greek fame, Osiris of Egyptian fame. And this Gilgamesh was a giant who a lot of people didn't even believe was anything more than myth until his grave marker was found a few years back. And then, according to some people, the military swooped in and took possession and control of that dig.
Hey, Tom, I want to interject something. I talked to a special operations general who validated that, and his words were he was in a state of remarkable preservation, okay? He said they have Gilgamesh's remains. So if they have Gilgamesh and he is Nimrod, they got it. And the whole point was to extract the DNA. And I've also been told that the whole point, and this is germane to what we're talking about, of the Human Genome Project is to locate specific genetic markers for the disembodied spirits to reanimate their host body that's brought back.
Interesting that the U.S. military started its military occupation phase of Iraq 1 month later. We all know we went into Iraq under false pretenses, right? They told us weapons of mass destruction, right? They said that we didn't find weapons of mass destruction, but I have a feeling we found the weapon of mass destruction, and we set up shop there immediately after that and established 500 military bases in the largest embassy of any other embassy on the entire planet in Babylon. Interesting.
How crazy that I watched this last night and this morning, and I had no idea he said that. And I said that yesterday, like, Maybe they were actually looking for the weapon of mass destruction. And this is almost the only thing that makes sense. We are constantly being lied to about what we are doing. What the heck are we doing talking about Greenland? What is going on right now? Why does it seem like the elites are running some race against time almost? What's going on in Ukraine, actually? I've heard that even that could be ancient in terms of what they are trying to get and what they are trying to find. We need to actually pay attention. The elites are focused on something that has nothing to do with what we are being sold. And I very much believe this because we see Peter Thiel, who is like dead focused on discussing the Antichrist all the time. Are we supposed to believe that he's a faithful Christian? What is his interest in the Antichrist? Why are they obsessed with wanting to create life artificially, right? This push and the marketing toward IVF. Yes, of course, it can be a sensitive subject because people turn to IVF because they can't have children. But we are starting to see that the people that are creating this, it's not because they are wanting to help you have a child. It's because they seek to be the creators. You know, one of the things that happens here, the template, is that as soon as you side with the devil, you can't create. You cannot create. You have to steal. You have to enslave. You have to steal because you do not have any creativity within you. And so I fully believe that we need to start having and examining all of the wars of past, what was going on in Afghanistan, like I said, what's going on in Ukraine today, and look through the lens of what I believe these people are actually after. And it's very clear to me that they are on some demonic pursuit. So I wanted to show that to you before I get into this unbelievably explosive revelation that I have about Erica.
But you remember who? Yeah, you remember who Peter Thiel is, right? That's the Palantir guy.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I like what she said, that you can't, once you side with the devil, you can't create.
Yeah, that
you're stealing. Only God can create.
It's pretty powerful.
Yeah, I like that. That was good. That was a good word from her.
Oh,
we'll use that. I hope she didn't patent that.
Well, while we're on Candace and she's all over Erica Kurt's nutsack, and I mean she's deep in that fucking nutsack, and she's all over Erica Kurt. Here's this lady Leah. She has this the Leah files, and she's good. I think we played her last week, a couple at the end of last week's episode, but I think it was this week. It was her birthday week, and every day she was doing a different video on Erica Kurt, and this is one of them. This is the Erica Kurt weird shit. Let's check this out.
Welcome to day 2 of my week of weird shit I found about Erica Kirk. It is my birthday week, and there is no better way for an Aries to celebrate their birthday than lighting shit on fire, and that's what we're doing this week. I spent my career at the CIA and NSA and also advised other intelligence agencies. I now have my own corporate intelligence firm. All of these opinions are my own. This analysis is my own for entertainment purposes only. I will be writing the entire deep dive of this because it is crazy on my Substack, so head over there. The link is in my bio. I appreciate you all so much. Let's get into Miss Kirk. About a week or two ago, I did a post on how VanceKirk2028.com was purchased 2 days after Charlie Kirk's assassination. A lot of people knew that. But what I found even weirder was that exact same term, VanceKirk2028.com, was looked at in Arizona and in the blue and white country months leading up to Charlie Kirk's assassination. And I thought that was strange. So can someone please explain to me but why Erica Kirk Vice President, which is the exact term that I put in here, was searched in April in Arizona? Erica Kirk Vice President. So for everyone saying, well, it could have meant Charlie Kirk. No. I never thought it did. This looked like a plan all along. So in April, somebody, not just once, not just twice, but a bunch of times, looked up Erica Kirk Vice President on Google. Over here to the right is after he was assassinated. Makes a little more sense. But in April, can you imagine her sitting around and being like, Erica Kirk, Vice President, I'm manifesting it. She was so irrelevant in April of 2025 that this is honestly wild. And you can see in the top left the term that I put in. It's fucking weird, okay? But I honestly did picture her being like, I'm such a good Vice President. I love JD Vance, Erica Vance. I'm just being funny, entertainment. Okay. The other thing I want to talk about is her Twitter behavior or X, whatever you call it. I'm not good at it, obviously. This has probably been talked about. I just want to give my perspective because I found this weird. Gotta put on my glasses for this shit because I can't see. Okay, September 19th, 2023. That's what she tweets. That is the last tweet that Miss Erica Kirk will make on her own besides 1 or 2 retweets until September 8th, 2025, 2 days before her husband is assassinated. She takes a break from Twitter for 2 years. And then 2 days before he's assassinated, she writes, "For grace you have saved through faith." Okay, you can read these on your own. September 9th, okay, starting a daily trend here. Interesting because that was not her MO 2 years prior when she was randomly posting, and she hadn't posted in 2 years. I need to make this very clear. And then look at the post from September 10th. An hour and a half before her husband was assassinated, she wrote, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble." Then, I'm not a Bible connoisseur, I did some research on what this is. And it is not a random uplifting quote. Psalm 46 was written about a specific scenario. An enemy army has surrounded God's people and destruction is at the gates. The trouble is here right now. It's a poem that you post when you know something violent is about to happen and you're embracing for it. What? An hour and a half before he was assassinated. After that, she is a Twitter pro. Every day she's on there reposting stuff because they have that memorial. Okay, I want you to see September 27th, let's go Duck. I'm sorry, 17 days after your husband is assassinated in public, you're like, "Let's go Ducks." I don't care if that was his team. That is fucking weird behavior. It gets weirder. Then she goes, "Hey, Chicago, what do you say, October 2nd? Say what you want. Try to justify away. But that behavior is so strange. Do you want to know what that looks like? You aren't posting on social media for 2 years. And then 2 days before your husband is assassinated, you start posting every day. And then on the morning that he's assassinated, you post Psalm 46. And then after that, you don't stop posting. You know what it looks like to me? If I were studying this behavior, it looks like you're preparing to start posting every day. You're just not very bright. And this is how you're going to go about doing it. Like people wouldn't know. This is fucking weird. Stay tuned.
Sorry, dude. I was cracking up because she kept saying palm. It's not palm. It's Psalms.
Yeah, yeah.
But you gotta get the language right, please. Or I'm just gonna like.
She said that she wasn't a biblical person.
I know, but damn, dude.
But
look up some ebonics or something. It's not. Yeah. I'm sorry.
But you remember earlier when I was talking about these women coming out and supporting Candace with their claws out, huh? I mean, think about it. So this woman, she got the background in investigating. She's a female, so she's already got that in whatever you call it, that intuitive, whatever this shit they got, females intuition. So she already got that shit in her. She's been trained to dig up shit,
right?
And now she's checking in there. I'm telling you, if TP USA and them did anything shady, they don't have a chance in hell with these fucking women. They just don't. And I love it. I do. I just love that. It looks so good to see a bunch of women get together for a cause and not be catty toward. Now, I don't know. They might be fighting towards each other, but I'm envisioning just a fucking army of just fucking women.
Discord
just like,
ladies.
You know what? Yeah. They're just fucking getting at it, Fuck them. And they all finding a purpose together for one mission.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. All right. Did you see Drewski do Erica Kirk? You know who Drewski is? You remember the black guy that did that NASCAR racing? Did you see that video?
I might if you show it. I
don't think I showed it on here, but it's this black guy named Drewski, and I love it. I think it was last year. He did whiteface, and he goes to a NASCAR race, and he's just acting straight like a redneck. And man, he looks like a redneck, and he talks. He shows the epitome, the stereotypical redneck, and it's hilarious. It's really funny. Some people got mad because he was doing whiteface, and if he did blackface, shut up. It was fucking funny. Right. Well, I'm saying that because of the same reason here. This time he does Erica Kirk. And I just got a little short part of it just so you can see it. Well, watch this shit. It's pretty accurate. I mean, he don't look exactly like her, but you know who the fuck he's talking about. Check this out.
Get on your feet, boy!
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart.
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God. And that is why we say our prayers.
They had to give you that creepy stare.
Right before bed, Brian, right before bed, I'm going to see that face when I go to sleep.
You're not, because I'm going to end with some good shit. So I wanted to end with some videos that caught my attention the last couple of weeks. I've been wanting to share with you. Well, this next one has only been this week, but there's a couple of them from the last couple of weeks. Did you see old Kathy Hochul complaining about everybody leaving her state?
I think, yeah, because of all the crap with Mandami and all that.
Well, hold on. I'm going to play it. It's going to show what she thought and what she thinks now. Check this out.
Fighting to bring government back to the people and out of the hands of dictators. And we're here to say that the era of Trump and Zeldin and Molinaro, just jump on a bus and head down to Florida where you belong, okay? Get out of town. Get out of town.
And being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. There are some patriotic millionaires who've stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded.
Yeah, she told them to leave.
She didn't mean it, though, I guess.
I mean, if you support Trump and all that, then get out of here. We don't want you anyways. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, shit, there goes the tax money. Dang it. That's how dumb people are, Brian. That's how.
No, you dumb. You're dumb for noticing. You're dumb for noticing.
You don't. Okay, let me give. I just had epiphany. Can I share my epiphany?
Yeah, you can share your epiphany.
Okay, so here's my epiphany.
Fucking sinus infection fucking me up.
You know what? Yeah, we'll make this quick. So because I know you're
good, dude. We got a little more. We good. Go ahead.
I know, but I'm saying, here's the funny part of that. That is like, say me and Holly were divorced and I'm paying child support. And she's mad at me, so she calls my job and raises some kind of stink about me and gets me fired. I got his ass until, guess what? Now that child support money ain't coming because now I ain't got a job. Why would you mess with your money? That is your...
Because she had people in the audience screaming.
It doesn't matter. She was in the moment, wasn't she? And she wasn't thinking. She wasn't looking over that one line going underneath the hood of the car.
They get told what to say, and whenever they get stuck in a moment like that, you got some people yelling. And you're like, "Yeah, woo, woo,
yeah!" You tell them.
That's right. And then you got people that's like, "Really, you don't want our money anymore?"
Okay, we're out of here.
She goes longer and on that second video, and she's even blaming remote working, how remote working hurt it. Like, no, you did that. Yeah, because she says that they used to be able to hold people, not this word, but it's pretty damn close. How you can pretty much hold people captive in New York, because that was the central hub, major hub of people that had big business. You did it in New York City, but now with the internet and all, you can work remotely, so they can't be held captive anymore. It's like, why would you want to hold somebody captive? But sometimes they just say the truth out loud and just don't realize what it sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
So I thought you might appreciate that. I didn't do Mandami, but I'm sure he got some shit going on with him too.
Oh, yeah, I mean,
go ahead.
His BS, man, that he's doing. I mean, he's going to ruin New York City. And that's fine. We're going to sit back with our popcorn and watch it happen.
Gotham. You always bring up movies, and you use movies a lot, and you talk about how movies have meanings and shit, and this is one I found, and I've been wanting to play for you. It's called "Movies Cast a Spell on the World." I thought you might enjoy this one. Let's check this out.
Aliens cast a spell on the world. And,
for real?
Oh, absolutely. It's just like how vampires can't go into a house unless they're invited.
they tell you, what's going on ahead of time. It's predictive programming. And once you say it out loud and you put it out there and make fun of it and do a little skit like Stephen Colbert did a little skit on his show where, oh, here's a baby. I'm going to take this baby and I'm going to give it to Moloch. And he goes into like a cloudy red, furnace and hands the baby over. And he's, oh, the baby's going to be fine. And they make a joke about it and the audience laughs. Okay, we're all now conditioned to it. We've all seen it. And by laughing at it,
But wait a minute.
we're complicit.
You think that's on purpose, that this is like some sort of a grand design to get us to be desensitized to the idea of demons eating babies?
Yeah, for sure.
Really?
For sure. And
who do you
by the
think-
way,
but
nobody's doing anything about it. We know what's happening.
But that has to take, there has to be a person or some group of people.
Yeah, like about
that
about 8,500 people. Yeah.
That are manipulating the Colbert Show?
That are manipulating everything. It's all an illusion. Like, reality as we know it is fake. That's the revelation that guy is having. And he's looking around and he's like, it's like Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Well, the thing about the emails is, one of the things is it's just stuff written down. And so that's sort of hard to digest. Like, what is this? Like, what are they saying? Like, some of it is in code, like walking over beef jerky. Like talking about jerky, could you walk beef jerky over to this person? Like, what does that mean?
For all this pizza they're talking about, no,
Right.
you never see any pizza.
Right. Yeah. They're ordering pizza.
I'm gonna get some grape soda. It's like with my cheese pizza.
Yeah.
And like, there's all this coded language, and everyone's like, oh, that's you just have pareola. You're just seeing things where you want to see them.
No, there's clearly a code. Well, that was the thing about Pizzagate.
It's absolutely a code. And in fact, mundus vult decepi, ergo decipiatur. It's a long-known concept. And so in Latin, mundus vult decepi means the world wants to be deceived. Ergo decipiatur. Therefore, it is. We want to be deceived. We don't want to believe the horrors that are actually behind the veil.
Well, I think with the Epstein files, people are, because of these emails that have been released, people are just now starting to be aware of the bizarreness of the code and some of the things, like the facts. Like, let's just talk.
What do you think?
Told you, man. That's Satan's playground, dude. That's how he gets in it, and we watch it. But yeah, we get desensitized to stuff.
It's no doubt. I mean, we were just talking about it last week, how much, television has changed, music's changed, how everything changed, because it constantly, you start to accept more and more and more, just like you would get to sacrificing your child to Moloch. If everyone's doing it and that's all then that's what you become to know it. And that's how I think they're trying to slowly condition us. And the biggest thing that I've noticed that failed, I hope it stays failed, is when they tried to start conditioning us about this pedophilia shit with this minor attractive people. It's like, no, that and, grown ass men dressed in a fucking dress are going to go in a woman's bathroom with a kid. No, you can't make this shit you can't condition people for that. If you do that, then you're really going to the next place of hell. I mean, we've taken it to another level. I agree,
Right.
but at some point we gotta push back and say, hey, look, we were wrong. Maybe we need to be a little more square than what we were. I don't know, but there's a lot of evil in the world. And we're gonna get into some of that in the next few weeks. But I want to share that with you. I want to share that with you. And today I seen this video, and I put my hat back on because I don't know how true this is. Having said that, this guy, I don't know him. I'll never know him, but just listening to the story he tells, makes me believe him to, at least to some extent. And it made me remember back to whenever they would tell, if you ever want to know what's going on, ask a PFC or a private, because they're always, somewhere cleaning something. They're always in the wall somewhere where somebody big is talking.
Right.
And this Uber driver is pretty similar to that. I want you to hear this fucking story. And again, I don't know if this is true or not, but I really just thought I needed to share this. And it's not, all right, I want to take a step back. This is not the scary one. I'm just curious if this shit's real. Let's check this out.
So when I pick my passengers up, I let them talk. And if it involves me, I'm going to jump in it. This one didn't involve me. This is that one time I'll jump right in on the conversation. And I think y'all might want to stick around and hear this motherfucker through. I picked up an elderly white couple in their mid to late 70s. Well, the fuck to do. When I say well to do, we ain't talking hundreds of thousands. I'm pretty sure in the upper millions. Trust me on this shit here. They were here in New Orleans, conducting business. In other words, getting rid of businesses that they own. Finalizing that shit. On their way to California. I just dropped them off the airport. To finalize the last properties they own in this country. How do I know? They on there talking to their daughter. She's in London on her way to Canada to dispose of whatever business they got going on out there. So now Unc is a little curious. I'm curious as a motherfucker. So I just asked and listen, I don't want to get in y'all business, but is something going on? I said, I know we talking about the war and all of this, and I hear y'all flying around getting rid of stuff. The wife didn't say nothing, but she looked at her husband, he looked at her. The man told me, he said, listen, all I can tell you is this here. Just get you and your family together. I said, sir, listen, I hear this on TikTok. I hear it all the time. I said, I know prices are going high. That man said, this ain't got nothing to do with prices. Just get your families in line. If you can, try to put things together to manage at least a minimum of 6 months to take care of you and your family. So I said, is it going to be that serious? That man told me, what's your worst nightmare? What's the worst thing you ever thought could happen to you? I said, well, I can't think offhand. He said, anything that you ever thought was the worst could happen to you, put that 10 times that amount. He said, listen, I don't tell you these things to scare you. And I don't want you to be afraid because there's no reason to be afraid. What's going to happen is going to happen. Now, I'm listening to this man telling me this shit. And he said, but, sit your ass, just get you and your family in line. So, I'm telling everybody out here, some shit is going on. Because these people here, trust and believe me, if y'all would have saw them, you know I'm not bullshitting about these. These motherfuckers is up there some fucking way. I don't know what the fuck they do. But I do know they getting rid of shit for a reason. And when that man told me a minimum of 6 months to get my shit lined up for that little time, guess what? A minimum of 2 motherfucking years. My shit is going to be lined up. I don't give a fuck if you call me paranoid or hallucinating. I'm following motherfucking suit, and I think y'all need to do the same thing.
So what are your thoughts? You think that man crazy?
I don't know, dude, because what did he mean get prepared for 6 months? Get lined up for 6 months. 6 months of what? I mean, if you're talking about money, you can't have 6 months of food unless you got MREs, non-perishable stuff.
No, you can.
You know what I'm
6
saying?
months.
Huh?
You can carry a lot more than 6 months of food. And I'm not talking about MREs or anything. You realize that if you, y'all probably don't, most of us around here, because of the hurricanes and all the time, we all have generators. I even have solar generators.
Right.
So you can keep your freezer going for quite a while, and you can, I guess what I'm getting at, you can still store food that way. You don't have to think about MREs and stuff like that. There's other investments that you can make. But no, I don't know exactly what he's talking about. But
yeah, but if it got bad enough or whatever, you got to have fuel to do that, Brian, and you're going to not have fuel. A lot of
solar
stuff,
generators.
Well, solar generators, but
I got
how long will them things run?
What do you mean? How long they run? I
Them
got
solar
2 big
generators.
batteries. They don't run. They batteries. They just 2 big batteries that charge.
Yeah, but
off
how
the
long
sun.
does the solar? Yeah, but how long does you got to have sufficient light in order to do that? Is what I'm getting at, though, right?
Yes, but you don't need to run a freezer all day. You don't.
Okay, well, I know, but didn't.
No, I'm just explaining. Once you get a freezer frozen, like any gap,
Yeah, I've got a deep freeze out my garage.
Yeah, but any gap you have in that, you need to fill it.
Yeah.
So if you got a gap in your freezer, you take a jug of water, you fill it up with water, and you freeze it. Because that gap's going to create, you're going to lose your cool. You're going to create heat.
Right.
So you fill it up with as much as you can. And then your freezer's going to last a while as long as you don't open and close it, every fucking 5 minutes. So you're not pulling that much energy. I'm not trying to say you got to get on a purpose there. I'm just saying there's ways to do it without thinking about MREs. And yes, I have gas generators also. Shit, now I ain't gonna say how much gas I got in the shed, but I got shit in the shed too because I prepare for hurricanes. We stayed 2 months with no electricity.
Right.
And So I understand what it's like to live like that. Having said that, I I don't know that guy, but could something possibly be an issue? It's quite possible. It's something to look out for. Maybe keep you. I'm not telling anyone to go out there and prep themselves. Having said that, I felt like it affected me enough to want to share it with people. So again, I
No.
don't know how true it is, but
Yeah, yeah. Oh. Because I just don't want to
you
get
don't
into
believe
that.
Nonk? You don't believe Nonk?
No,
Nonk
I'm
just
not
told
saying.
you.
Yeah, dude, I'm not. That dude sounded convicted and all that of what he heard and seen. And yeah, if rich people are out there selling a bunch of stuff, maybe there is something fixing to happen. But why are they selling off all this stuff? That's monetary. So what are they going to use that money for? I
I
mean,
don't
they
know, unless
talked about Mark Zuckerberg building that big underground bunker.
Oh, I've heard a lot of people were putting bunkers in. Cool, dude. They
Yeah.
I don't know if they got one around where you live, but when y'all come down and we go to Texas,
Yeah.
they got a they got a big billboard of underground bunkers around here
Yeah.
that they sell and build them and all this other shit. It's like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah. So if they know stuff, these people with money know stuff. They know
Yeah.
a lot more than we do.
Well, they have access to it, the information.
Yeah. There's a reason why they have the money they do, because they know shit.
Well, because they have access. That's
Yes.
what money that's what money buys you. Money buys you access.
That's right. Data centers.
The Terminator. I'm telling you, that is a very plausible situation right there.
Oh, yeah. AI terminate. Yeah, dude. I mean,
well,
and then he says, well, what's your worst nightmare? I mean, that's a vague statement.
Yeah, I don't
No
know. what my
Taco
worst nightmare
Bells.
is. No.
I mean, worse waking
No,
up with a
it wouldn't be
vagina.
no Taco Bells. It would be like
or rolling over to my wife and she's got a penis. That's a bad nightmare. I mean,
yeah.
It depends on what your definition. Well, 10 times worse than that. Like, what's 10
They
times
got
worse than
you
my wife
just to
having a
getting
penis?
off, and you had to be stuck there forever.
Right there at the edge.
Right there.
Yeah. Like it's right at the tip and it won't come out and you're stuck there forever. That's my worst nightmare. Well, just imagine that 10 times worse. Oh my gosh.
What you think that old dude would have said if you know what? I was jerking off the other day and I was just so close to coming. And I was thinking, man, if I couldn't have came, that was my worst nightmare.
Or no, you know what my worst nightmare was? Was driving around a Uber car with 2 millionaires in it and thinking about where I'm going to dump the bodies.
That's right.
That was my worst nightmare. He'd be like, looking at him and his wife, like, can you describe or can you prophesy that? Can you tell me what that means? 10 times worse than that? Dang. I mean,
go ahead.
I wish he would just force said a little bit more information.
Maybe he was scared too. Maybe he's
maybe he is. Maybe it is. But if you're going to go out on social media, man, let it spill. You know, what if the riders saw that and they're like, oh, honey, I told you shouldn't have said nothing to him. Now they're going to get everybody getting ready and they're going to take it away from us. Gosh, dang it.
Now they're all going to show up on the mountain with us.
Yeah. Jeez.
Well, I wanted to end tonight on a lighter note. If you're around our age, you know old gangster rap and talking about strawberry, strawberry, suck dick, So you had all these, Strawberry was just a crack whore, so sucking dick for crack. And, well, this man, you go like this man put them all on blast. And I never thought of this, but I thought it was pretty funny. So I figured I'd end the night with this. Check this shit out.
Y'all surprised that the young girls is hoes. I ain't surprised, because I was there when they grandmas and great-grandmas first got a hold of that crack cocaine. And they used to be known for a good plate of neck bones, and they came to be known for a good bone in their neck. That's how it went. Now, they're going to say I'm lying. But what we do know is that there was an epidemic, so somebody was smoking crack. And we know there was a whole lot of crack babies, and crack babies don't come from no man. So, say I'm lying all you want, but fact of the matter is, the things your grandma would do for $20 was downright disgusting. Like I say, she was known for a plate of neck bones, and then she came to be known for a bone in her neck. And mouth was like that trap that the Ghostbusters have, just taking souls. And now the young girls, it's family tradition now. You got generations of fixing their mouth like this. Hit the blunt. Drink the bottle. Hit the crack pipe. Make the money so you can hit the crack pipe. It's family tradition now. So everybody could try to play crazy. I ain't surprised. I knew what you expect the babies of them crack whores was going to be doing. And that's who these is out here now. These the grandbabies and great-grandbabies of them crackheads. So I know when your grandma used to get dropped off at the dope house and she ain't had no money, and somehow she was in there 3 days getting high. And when she come out, she can't barely talk because her jaws is sore. Now you run in there and ask her that, because somebody was smoking it. Y'all ain't. I'm not saying y'all ain't gonna make me feel no type of way about it. I know what was going down, and I know who Grandma was doing what.
You hate laughing at that stuff, but he's not lying.
He's not lying. That's why it's fun. You got any parting words, man?
No, man, it was a good night. I appreciate it.
Well, I hope everybody had fun. You know, it was great. I enjoyed every minute myself. You know, I hope y'all do too. I thank y'all for listening. We greatly appreciate it.
Yep.
Like, share, follow, subscribe. This is the Sense and Senseless Podcast. I'm Brian.
I'm Jason.
He's Jason. Peace.
This is the Sense and Senseless Podcast.